Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Philly.
It's time for Angels Spring Training Baseball this afternoon from Tempe Diablo Stadium. The Angels continue their homestand as they take on the Seattle Mariners. We take you inside Tempe Diablo Stadium. Beautiful day for baseball. Angels' fourth straight game here in Cactus Lake play. Terry Smith along with new partner Mark Gubasa right beside me, old childhood buddy, as we're reunited here today in Tempe. And Mark, we also have another special guest with us, and that's Angels' new assistant to the general manager, Buddy Black. Buddy, great to see you back in an Angel uniform, and tell us how the transition is going for you so far.
Terry, it's great to be back. It's good to see you again. It's good to see my old teammate Gooby. The transition's been great. Obviously, Terry, as you know, the investment that I have with this organization, dating back to 2000, with Mike and the staff and Artie and everybody in the front office and now Billy, it's been great.
Now, Blackie, how different is that from if you're being a pitching coach, you've been a manager, now all of a sudden you're like an talent evaluator? How different is that for you now?
A little bit different, Gooby, for sure. 16 years in uni and now coming off the field, at least when the game starts. Here in spring training, I'm in uniform as an additional coach, additional staff member, working with the players and working with the coaches. But, as time goes on, I think it's going to give me a great perspective, on the game. And what I see, I think I'll be able to add to Billy and to Mike and the coaches.
And any surprises you see so far here in camp? I know it's still fairly early, but some guys are putting up some good numbers.
Well, what I do like is, obviously the guys who are back, the Trouts and the Pools and the Calhoun. But, the new acquisitions I think are going to fit in very well. Nava, Gentry, Escobar, those guys are going to fit well.
But I want to talk to you about three starting pitchers who we haven't seen a whole lot of so far this spring. Weaver, Wilson, and Skaggs. They've combined for less than 5 innings so far this spring. We're 20 days away from opening day. How big of a concern is this?
A little tough for those guys for sure. I think, on the positive side, Jared has went through a couple days of tests, and the tests came out fairly positive for Jared. So he's gonna be back up on the mound. And Terry, we might see him pitch this weekend in a game. CJ, on the other hand, a little bit slower. I think it's going to be a while. It's very doubtful that as we go through the rest of spring and into April that he's going to be ready to pitch. So he's on a much slower program. And Tyler Skaggs, through a simulated game yesterday, he'll be in spring training games before this spring ends, which is a great sign. He'll be pitching full go, 100% in April. Whether it's with the Angels or not, we'll see. But he's on his way back.
Does that push the depth of the organization as far as starters, or you think it's going to be more emphasis now as spring training goes long, maybe an extra guy down in the bullpen when the season starts?
Well, that's what Mike and the coaches and Billy and his guys are talking about. We're talking about a lot of different scenarios as you look at the 25-man roster. Whether it's an extra guy in the pen, whether we keep a traditional American League 4-man bench, but there's some avenues, and there's a lot of competitions on a couple back spots of that bullpen. So we'll see how it plays out.
Buddy, before we let you go, you're certainly familiar with the Angels closer. That's Houston Street.
Yes, I had Houston for 2 years in San Diego. He continues to get it done. As you look at Houston's save percentage compared with other modern-day closers, it's right there. And you look at all the good ones. Some guys who've recently retired, and his save percentage is very high. He's very, very reliable.
By the way, how was your golf game? That's the most important thing for you.
Goose, I haven't, this new job position, it doesn't really allow me to get out. It's much better when you're a player. Hey, the day's done a little earlier as, in this role, man. I'm here till the sun goes down. Goose, it's tough to play.
Yeah.
Buddy, I'll tell you what, it's great to see you in Angels Red, and always a pleasure to meet up with you, and I'm sure you're going to be a big ally of Billy Epler's this season.
Well, like I said, it's great to be back. I mean, so many familiar faces. I'm excited about the year and what we can do.
All right, it's the Angels and the Seattle Mariners today here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. We'll see if the Angels can make it 5 in a row. Angels have been scoring a lot of runs lately here in the Cactus League. Had 10 yesterday in the win against the Cincinnati Reds. We'll have the starting lineups and the start of today's game. It's coming up next right here on Fox Sports West. Here in Tempe, we just had the exchange of the lineup cards. The umpires are at home plate. Jerry Davis will be calling balls and strikes. And around the bases, we'll have Brian Gorman, Quinn Walcott, and Sean Barber. Time now for today's starting lineups. And for the visiting Seattle Mariners, who have gone 7-8 so far in the Cactus League, their lineup looks like this. Leading it off in center field will be Leonis Martin. Batting second at shortstop, Ketel Marte. Stephen Romero at first base bats number 3. Kyle Seager will be the cleanup batter, and he will be at third base. The designated hitter batting number 5 for Seattle is Dae-Ho Lee, a South Korean. Mike Zunino, the catcher, will follow. He will bat number 6. And the bottom third of the batting order, batting 7th and playing second base, Chris Taylor. Hitting 8th and playing left field is Boog Powell. And playing right field and batting number 9 for the Mariners, the ex-Angel Daniel Robertson, who's having a very good spring for Seattle. On the mound for the Mariners today, 26-year-old right-hander Cody Martin, 6'3", 230-pounder. And Martin so far this spring for Seattle, no wins, no losses, an ERA of 3.60. Today will be his third appearance this spring. It will also be his first start. The Angels starting lineup, it's brought to you today by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And for the Halos this afternoon, leading things off will be the third baseman, Yunel Escobar. Daniel Nave in left field will bat number 2. He's had a very good spring, 11 for 18 with 5 runs batted in. Mike Trout back in the lineup today in center field, bats third. Trout's 9 for 18 this spring with a homer, 6 runs batted in. Albert Pujols will follow the DH and cleanup batter. Pujols a home run, 4 RBIs, 4 for 17 in Cactus League play. Cole Calhoun will be the right fielder. He bats number 5. After Calhoun, G-Man Choi at first base bats number 6. He's driven in 6 runs this spring for the Angels. He's had a home run and bidding for a reserve spot on the opening day roster. And the bottom third of the Angels lineup at short, batting number 7, Cliff Pennington. Hitting 8th and playing second base, Gregorio Petit. And doing the catching and batting 9th will be Jet Bandy. Angels getting ready to take the field. Starting pitcher today is Andrew Heaney. This will be just his second start. Last time we saw him on the mound was last Thursday, and that was a start he had against the Arizona Diamondbacks. In that game, gave up 2 hits in 2 innings, did not allow any earned runs. So Andrew Heaney, 24-year-old lefty who certainly figures prominently in the Angels starting rotation, will get the baseball today for the Halos. The Angels are wearing the red tops and white pants. The Mariners have the teal colored jerseys and the gray pants. The dimensions here at Tempe Diablo Stadium, 340 to left field, 420 to dead center. And right, it goes 360, and in the alleys, 400 feet to left center and right center field. Mark Gubasal along for the ride today. You're my third different partner in 3 days here, Gooby, and we'll kind of stick around together for about the next week or so.
Oh, it sounds good, Terry. You are amazing. You can work with 3 different voices here, 3 different days. That's why you are the captain of the ship.
Well, you've been here for, close to 24 hours now. What are some of your early observations? You had a chance to come out early today and kind of watch the Angels go through some workout drills.
Yeah, Terry, just watching and talking a lot with the hitters today. They're real confident. I mean, coming in there was a discussion who's going to play left field, where, which Johnny Giavitelli going to be the second baseman. So many other talk about the lineup where guys are going to be at hitting in the lineup, whether it's Cole Calhoun hitting number 2 or number 5 like we're seeing today. But you're seeing a lot of confidence in their swings. Granted, it's still early in camp here, but Daniel Nava's really done a nice job. It's really solidified his entire lineup.
Yeah, Nava has been having a long at-bat, seeing a lot of pitches per at-bat. We mentioned how hot he's been, 11 for 18. That's a batting average of over 600. His on-base percentage so far in 8 games in the Cactus League is 708 on-base percentage.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Absolutely. So he's been doing a great job for the Angels, and we'll see if he's able to do some good things for the Angels when we get to the regular season. So we are ready for baseball. Martin will lead things off. Member of the Texas Rangers for a number of seasons, left-handed batter. hit only .219 with Texas a year ago. Here's the first pitch today. Lefty-lefty matchup. It's in there for a called strike. We're underway in the count, 0-1. Third baseman Escobar in on the grass. And here's the next delivery. And that's a little bit high and away and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Seeing some good pop on that fastball ready for Heaney. Last year around 89 to 93. Good slider and changeup.
And he likes to work that slider against the left-handed batters. He's facing one here. Here's the next pitch. Lifted in the air into left field. Nava is going back, still going back at the wall. And Nava will make the grab on that one. Boy, oh boy, that ball kept carrying out there, but Nava stayed right with it and makes the catch right in front of the wall in left center, 1 away.
Well, you've seen him make some outstanding plays so far in camp. Terry, he gets a good jump on the baseball. You know the baseball carries extremely well down here in Arizona. So he got back on that very well to the wall. And that's the thing. Knew exactly where he was, able to brace himself as he made contact with the wall. Looked it into the glove. Outstanding play by Nava.
So the shortstop, the batter for Seattle, Ketel Marte. Switch hitter batting from the right side. Heaney's first pitch. And that's a breaking ball in there for a called strike. Around the infield, Choi at first. Petit playing second. Escobar at third with Pennington at short. Here's the next pitch. Grounded on the third base side. A fair ball. Bobbled by Escobar. Picks it up. Throws. Bounces the throw over there and gets it there. Good stop on that bounce throw by the first baseman, G-Man Choi. It wasn't picture perfect, but the Angels get the job done.
Well, anytime you're playing that third base position, you're in a little bit. You can knock it down and still afford to maintain it being under control. He threw the ball low across, but Choi, nice pick over at first base. Escobar got his footwork a little bit tied up, but still able to make that low throw across. But a nice play over first where he was able to stretch out and keep that ball right in front of him, and a good scoop by Choi at first base.
So Romero, the next batter. And he will be playing first base for Seattle today. Angels outfield, Nava in left, Trout in center, Calhoun in right. Bandy's catching, Pujols DHing, and Heaney pitching. And that one is high. We had some lineup changes for both of these teams before we got started today. We thought Giovanni Soto was going to catch for the Angels, and he was a scratch. So Bandy is the catcher. Here's the next pitch. That's a liner the opposite way into right center. That's going to fall in for the game's first hit. So Romero's had a pretty good spring. He is on with a 2-out single, and that'll bring up the third baseman Kyle Seager.
And then a nice job of swinging the bat, hitting the ball the other way. With Heaney, too, you know, when you elevate some pitches in the strike zone, that's the pitch you'll see a right-handed batter try to serve the other way against Romero with a good swing there.
So Seager, the hitter. He's had a couple of home runs, 7 runs batted in so far in the Cactus League. Lefty-lefty matchup. They do have 3 left-handed hitters in their lineup, and that one is in there for a called strike. Wasn't that long ago that we saw Seager's brother, Corey Seager, when the Angels played the Dodgers. That was at wild 13-13 ball game. And now Corey Seager's sideline with some knee problems, probably going to be out for a couple of weeks.
What a talent. That conversation for Rookie of the Year already.
Oh, yeah.
For him. I mean, he's got good power, solid defender at shortstop. But Kyle always says, too, hey, listen, I'm a pretty good player, too. And Kyle Seager, that's some serious talent in that family.
Yep, some good bloodlines as far as that family's concerned. Seager's been an all-star before. Kyle Seager of Seattle. 2 strikes to count on him as Heaney looks to get the final out. We're in the first, no score. Toss over there. Talked this spring about the emergence of so many good young shortstops in Major League Baseball. Correa, Seager looks like he has a chance to be a special player. Lindor of Cleveland.
Real good player.
Oh, yeah.
Very special player.
Yep. Here's the next pitch. And Seager thought about chasing that one, lays off it for a ball.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing. Remember a number of years ago, when you had Alex Rodriguez, Nomar Garcia-Parra, Omar Vizquel, Derek Jeter, all that group coming through. Same time, so much talent at shortstop position. It kind of cooled off a little bit.
Yeah.
Just like you saw it for a while as second baseman, then that's kind of gone away for a little bit. It's just different cycles where you see positions become a premium offensive position.
Counts 1 ball, 2 strikes. Heaney taking some time, delivers, and Seager cuts it. That one fouls it off. Mariners are hoping that Marte might be a guy that you might add to that list in time. He's a very young shortstop, talented.
Real good throwing arm himself.
Right.
We saw him make some plays last year.
Yeah, he's only 22 years old. And he handled himself with the bat last year. He hit 283 in some 50-plus games for Seattle. So Heaney set, has the new baseball ready, and the two-strike pitch. He misses with that off-speed pitch. 2-2.
That's the one pitch as spring training progresses, you start to work on and get a better feel as you're breaking ball. A lot of times when you come into camp, it's fastball, change up, you're throwing batting practice, and you get your first game or two against big league hitters. It's that feel for that slider, and that's going to be an important pitch, not only for Andrew Heaney, but a number of the pitchers on this Angel staff. Just getting that feel for that secondary pitch to finish off real good hitters.
Pennington, the shortstop, kind of shaded towards second. There goes the runner. The pitch hits lined into left field, and that will fall in for a base hit. Getting the ball back in quickly, though, is Nava, and even though Romero was on the move on the pitch, he has to stop at second. But back-to-back two-out singles will give Dae-Ho Lee an at-bat.
Yeah, he was going right on that pitch. Romero going and try to time. As a left-handed pitcher, you're going on that first movement. Had a pretty good jump. And then it looked like Andrew kind of sped up his delivery and then elevated that pitch away to Seager, and he was able to hit that ball well to left center field.
So here's Lee, the South Korean. He'll be 34 years old in June. And between playing professionally in South Korea and in Japan, last 4 years in Japan, this guy has hit over 300 home runs. And that one is low and outside on him. 1 ball, no strikes. Dae-Ho Lee back in 2010 playing in South Korea, 44 homers, 133 RBIs in 127 games. He's a first baseman, DHing today. And here's the pitch. He lifts that one into shallow left. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Being waved around is Romero. Ball bobbled by Nava, so no chance for a throw to the plate. That's a 2-out RBI single, and Seattle has put 3 straight hits together with 2 outs. They have a 1-0 lead.
Out in front a little bit on that swing, Lee, to get a base hit, but you can see how strong he is. You're trying to stay off speed against him. Anytime you see power numbers like that from a young hitter, you know that he's going to hit the fastball well. So you have to try to use your changeup or your slider to be able to get him out in front. He was slightly out in front, but still strong enough to fight that into left field for a hit.
So the catcher batting, Zunino. He was a late addition to their original lineup. They had Rob Brantley slated to catch today. Cano was in their original lineup as well, but not playing now. Here's the pitch. Cut and a miss on Zunino. Heaney having a little trouble closing out the inning. 3 straight 2-out hits. Mike Zunino last season, just a 174 batting average, and he is a career 193 hitter. Here's the pitch. That's low and inside.
He's got real good power on fastballs on the inner half of the plate. Real difficult time adjusting to off-speed pitches and even fastballs down and away. But that fastball in, no matter how hard you throw, he will make a good pass at that. If he connects on, he's very, very strong.
Zunino has an uphill fight to win a catching spot with Seattle this spring, and here he lines one right to the shortstop. Pennington holds on. Ball's hit hard, but right at short, and that's how the inning will end. So we're running the inning for Seattle on 3 hits. We're going to the bottom of the first. Mariners 1, Angels coming to bat on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Angels set to bat. Bottom of the first. It's 1-0 Seattle fans. If you have a group of 20 or more interested in experiencing Angels baseball, receive a group ticket and pricing as low as $6 per seat. Visit angels.com/groups. So here is Escobar to lead it off. First ball swinging. Rips one down the left side. It's going to bounce and head out to the wall. He'll easily get 2 on it. And first ball swinging. The Angels' third baseman in scoring position for Daniel Nava.
And that's exactly what I was talking to Dave Hansen about before during batting practice today. I said get himself in fastball counts, and he said the exact same thing. That first pitch fastball may be the best pitch to make that good pass at, and he certainly did there, getting the fastball elevated, jumped on it. One thing that Escobar has done throughout his career, very aggressive hitter, but if you get a fastball in your zone, why not jump at it?
So here is Nava, who has been swinging a hot bat all spring. Really the hottest Angel hitter this spring. Switch hitter, he'll bat right against Cody Martin. Martin was with the Braves and the A's last year. Here's the pitch. That's a little pop on the left side. That's a fair ball. It's going to drop in, and Escobar will score easily. Nava's heading to second, and he is there with a double. So the first 2 Angel batters have each swung at the first pitch. They've each had doubles, and we're tied at 1.
And Nava's seen about, 4 or 5 pitches per at bat this spring. But again, getting back to that same thing, if you have a pitch early in the count that you can do some damage to, that's exactly what we're seeing from the Angel hitters here early on. As Nava gets the fastball inner half of the plate, this flares it into left field for a double. So back-to-back doubles, 2 pitches thrown, and a run scored.
Yeah. Here is Mike Trout, who doesn't normally go after the first pitch, but we'll see what happens here. Martin checking second. Nava has a good-sized lead. First pitch on Trout. He'll take that one low and outside. Cody Martin throws a lot of pitches: fastball, sinker, slider, cutter, curve, and changeup. He has a pretty good curveball and changeup.
Yeah, fastball. It's not overpowering, around 87, 91 range, but he does sink that pretty good, though. 2-seamer.
Here's the next one, and he tried to sneak that one on the inside part of the plate and misses. 2-0 on Trout.
And now you put yourself as a hitter in one of those good fastball counts where you can center in on a zone, see if you can do some damage.
They play the infield back. Martin checking second, and here's the next one on Trout. He grounds the ball sharply to the shortstop. It's fielded by Marte. Nava going for third, and he will be thrown out. That was not a wise base running move there by Daniel Nava. So the fielder's choice gets him at third base. That'll go 6-5, and Trout is on at first with 1 away.
Yeah, with no outs, there is a runner at second base to play in front of you. Was hit well, but right at Marte was able to make the throw right away over to third base. To Seager, plenty of time to make that throw. You got to make sure that throw's across the diamond. You still may be able to advance, but when it's in front of you like that, you just stay right where you're at.
So here's Pujols. Trout leading off the bag at first base, not going, and the first pitch, that's a slow one in there for a called strike.
Trout's been a lot more aggressive, you're seeing, and that's what the conversation was coming into camp, thinking about stealing some bases, even with Albert Pujols at the plate.
Here's the next pitch. That's ripped into left field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Powell will get it back to the infield quickly, so Trout has to hold at second base. Albert has a hit. The Angels have had 4 batters bat already here in the bottom of the first, 3 of them with hits. 2 are on with 1 out, and Cole Calhoun the batter. One thing about Cody Martin, he's a guy that is usually around the plate, and the Angel hitters have been right on him here.
Talking about getting the barrel of the bat on the baseball. We've seen that so far in this first inning.
No doubt.
Even Trout's hard hit shot the shortstop.
Right.
Hit well.
So they'll put a shift on with Calhoun at the plate. 3 infielders on the right side. Trout, decent lead off second. Martin watching him, and now delivers, and Calhoun fouls that one back behind home.
Another swing at a first pitch, and another good hack at a first pitch.
Waiting on deck, G-Man Choi. Martin taking a look at second. Trout is leading off. Here's the next pitch. Calhoun takes low and in. 1-1 the count.
You know, we were talking to Mike Scioscia today, remember, Terry, about how aggressive the club has been running the bases so far in camp. Doesn't necessarily have the most team speed he's had as a manager for the Angels, but he also feels pretty comfortable with these guys in motion, trying to get that extra base, even scoring on a single here.
There's another off-speed pitch. That's outside, 2-1. Yeah, we've seen the Angels running. Didn't see a whole lot of that last year. The personnel just really didn't match up to doing that a whole lot. But there's been a lot of change of personnel from a year ago. Here's the 2-1 in there, and it's 2-2. The Mariners got this Cody Martin off the waiver wire from the Oakland A's during the offseason back in October. Here's the next pitch, 2-2. That's hit hard but foul over on the first base side. So Calhoun turned on that. Boy, the Angels are making solid contact here in the first inning.
Stayed back on an off-speed pitch very well. Again, he made that adjustments, kept his hands back in the zone to be able to drive that ball, just pulled it foul. A lot of times, especially in spring, hitters, like we talked earlier, they're on fastballs, but it's the off-speed pitches and the timing mechanism. They have to have that foot down and then through the baseball to be consistent.
Very light breeze here in Tempe today, 81 degrees. Supposed to continue warming up here in the valley this week. And the 2-2. There's a swing at a high one there. A foul tip held by the catcher struck him out. Boy, that's a pitch that Calhoun would have liked to have had back. He chased one out of the zone. So that is out number 2. First strikeout for Martin, and we'll see what the Angels can do with 2 outs and 2 on.
It's so hard for a hitter not to swing at that high fastball because you see that fastball and the pitch coming so good from the eyes open up, and all of a sudden, though, when it gets in there, when it's up in the strike zone, it's so very difficult to bring your hands up and then through the baseball to make good contact. But as a hitter, you see it very well, but very difficult to catch up to.
So Choi is the batter. He's had 6 RBIs this spring. In an RBI situation here with 2 outs, goes after the first pitch and fouls that one off left side, backing out of play. Choi batting left-handed, and when camp began, he was switch hitting, but not doing that anymore. Here's Martin's next pitch. That's low. Snap throw to first, and just getting back over there is Albert.
Well, kind of a late dive back there, too. You just hope that wrist and everything is good for Pujols getting back there on that quick throw. Zunino, granted, his batting average not there, but a very good, solid defender. Frames pitches very well, strong throwing arm. That back pick tried to get Albert leaning. Close play at first base. Zunino, a very good defender.
Here's the 1-1, and that one is outside. G-Man Choi was in the Mariners organization, so he knows a few people on the other side today. Martin takes time with people on base. Angels have a pair on with 2 outs. The next pitch chopped on the first base side, a foul ball. So the count level, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fans, Experian, let's get serious about your credit. Go to Experian.com today.
Well, those extra players become such a premium now in baseball because you're seeing defense at a premium now. So sometimes those great defenders may not necessarily be great bats, especially later in the game, where those extra players now have that opportunity. If you have a good spring, you can put yourself in position be on that bench and play a key role, winning some games coming off the bench for your manager.
2-2 off speed, high and outside. So it's a full count. Troy saying something to the home plate umpire, Jerry Davis. Pennington would be up next if the inning continues. 2 outs. We'll see what gives on the 3-2. There go the runners. Pitch is popped in the air. Shallow left field. Coming in hard is Powell, the left fielder. He'll make the catch. Shortstop Marte was going back, but it's the left fielder's play, and the inning is over. So the Angels settle for 1 run, had 3 hits here in the bottom of the first. We're headed to the second, tied at 1 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. This copyrighted broadcast presented by authority of Angels Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of today's game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of Angels Baseball. So we go to the second. We're tied at 1. And the first batter up for the Seattle Mariners, taking the pitch for a strike, Chris Taylor. Each team sent 6 to the plate in the first inning. Each team had a run on 3 hits, and each club left 2 runners on base. Next delivery, that is a fair ball right over the third base bag. It's going to bounce around down in the left field corner. Taylor will make a turn at second and then put on the brakes as Nava gets the ball back to the cutoff man. So a leadoff double for Chris Taylor, and Heaney has given up 4 hits to the first 7 batters he's faced today.
Well, one thing you've noticed even a lot in camp and even watching the games when you're doing, Terry, is the hitters seem to be on their game early on. It used to be not that long ago, the hitters are just trying to get their timing going, beginning part of the spring training, the pitchers, it's such an advantage, but not anymore. They're ready to go game ready from the first day of camp, and you can see by these swings so far, early in the camp and certainly in this game.
Angels in the last 4 games have scored at least 7 runs in all of them and have scored 34 runs in the last 4 games. There's a bunt try by Boog Powell, and he fouls that one back, so he was looking to advance that runner over to third base, but fouls off the bunt try. Powell from Mission Viejo High School and went to Orange Coast Junior College in Costa Mesa.
Very good program, by the way, there.
Yeah. Lefty-lefty matchup. Powell is 4 for 20 this spring for Seattle, 5 RBIs. Came over from the Rays during the offseason.
It's also the point in the camp where you see a lot more pickoffs. To see what you can do as far as trying to prevent a runner from getting that extra step, and just in case a bunt or even a straight steal would be on.
Heaney set. Here's the pitch, and there's a bunt, but it's fouled back to the screen. Boy, that was not a good bunt right there. So 0-2 is the count. And Boog Powell, the batter, not like the original Boog Powell, I guess you could say. He was a big power hitter.
You think he cooks barbecue too?
Maybe.
I'll tell you, if he squared up that bunt right there, that ball's in the gap. That ball was bunted hard, fell straight back.
Yeah. This is a guy that usually sprays the ball around, and he needs to do the little things. He doesn't have much power. So he's in the hole 0-2, and now time is called by the home plate umpire, Jerry Davis. So Heaney taking a little bit too much time. And that's one thing about Heaney. He is very deliberate on the mound. Not a real quick worker.
I think that's one thing Charles Nagy will try to clean up, I think, at some point.
Here's the next pitch. And that one is in there. A called third strike. He froze him, and it bit the outside corner. That's Heaney's first strikeout today. And now one away. And Daniel Robertson, who spent some time with the Angels and AAA Salt Lake a year ago, will be the next batter.
He's had great location. That fastball framed well by Bandy behind the plate. He's had good balance in there, driving towards the plate, which is important, and shoulders squared up to be able to deliver that baseball exactly where he wanted to. And getting back to that pace, what you try to do as a pitcher, the quicker you work, the more you're going to have your fielders on their toes to make those difficult plays. And that's something that Charles Nagy will talk to him about, because he was a guy that worked extremely fast himself.
First one on Robertson, taken for strike one. Daniel Robertson, a native of Fontana. And he played 3 years at Concordia College. Seattle claimed him off waivers from the Angels back in November, and he's having a nice spring for the Mariners, trying to win a reserve outfield spot. Pops it up left side of the infield. Battling the sun is the shortstop, and that is Pennington, who will make the grab, and that'll be the second out. We did see earlier today a lot of the Angels outfielders taking fly balls. We've been seeing some of the outfielders struggling this spring here with the bright sunshine, especially at Tempe Diablo, so they were looking to clean that up a little bit
it's all about
this morning.
Really, Terry, getting that angle you have to be able to cut off as much of that sunlight going in your eyes. You have the glove, you have the sunglasses, but it's also angling your body to be able to alleviate at least that initial glare where you can track the baseball where it could have a better opportunity to catching that ball.
Yep. So here's Martin, their leadoff man, with 2 outs still, the runner at second. He lined out to left his first time up, and that one is pitch he takes for a ball. The other part of that story about the outfielders taking the fly balls earlier, after they were done, and Mike Scioscia decided to add a little levity to the whole situation, and we saw athletic trainer Rick Smith taking fly balls out there in center field before the game.
That was beautiful.
What a show that was. Here's the pitch. That one is low. And while the Angels were taking infield, and then they started shooting the fly balls out the center field off the pitch machine. And every single player that was on the field was watching Rick Smith, and boy, what a show he put on today.
He's been around a long time. Everyone loves him. And the effort was there. We'll put it that way. The effort was there.
He was flying all over the place in center field trying to make some catches of those fly balls. Good thing he had that batting helmet on when he was out there, too. Little added protection. Here's the next pitch, and that one is a little bit low. 3-0 the count. Not sure how that whole challenge originated today, but it was entertaining. There was no doubt about it. So it's 3-0 here on Martin, with Marte scheduled bat next if the inning continues. 2 outs, runner at second, 1-1 in the second. Heaney's next pitch, and that's in there. 3-1 to count.
Much better delivery on that pitch for Heaney. deliver that well. Didn't slow down that arm at all to be able to aim the pitch. That was free and easy. Good spot.
Have a nice crowd today here for the Angels and the Mariners. Looks like we have a little bit more than yesterday. And the pitch, that's well hit in the center field. Going back on it, getting turned around a little bit, but under and making the grab is Trout. He had to kind of change direction a little bit on that one, but makes the play. And the inning is over. So they waste the leadoff double, and we head to the bottom of the second. We're tied at 1 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Bottom of the second here in Tempe. It is a 1-1 ball game. First batter up for the Angels, Cliff Pennington against Cody Martin, and the right-hander's pitch on the switch hitter. That one is low and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Terry Smith, Mark Gubasan, our producer-engineer Darren Chan with you from Tempe. Angels trying to keep their little Cactus League win streak going. Angels have won 4 in a row. And here comes the 1-0 on Pennington. That's a called strike on the inside corner. Angels put together a pair of doubles on the first 2 pitches of the bottom of the first inning to tie the game up. And the 1-1, that's a called strike. So Pennington down 1-2.
Martin has shown a pretty good curveball so far. Good break to it, good depth.
He's set. Here's the 1-2 pitch. A liner that's going to fall into right field for a leadoff hit. That was a good 2-strike at bat there for Pennington. So the Angels have had 4 hits from their first 7 batters, and the second baseman, Gregorio Petit, will bat.
And he got a fastball elevated there after the good breaking ball, the pitch before. Pennington did a nice job of keeping his hands back, short through the baseball. Had a pitch elevated, got the barrel of the bat through it. In the right center field for a base hit. Good piece of hitting.
It's Cody Martin for Seattle, former 7th round pick of the Atlanta Braves. That was back in the 2011 draft. In with several organizations now. Toss over to first base. Pennington is back. He's not a real big base stealer anymore. Not going, and the pitch, a cut and a miss, and then way on the backswing there, that bat hit the catcher Zunino. 0-1 the count on Petit.
At some point you would think in this sequence against Petit they might put a hit and run on. And you mentioned Pennington doesn't steal as much anymore, but that still doesn't prevent you from putting a potential hit and run on.
So it's no balls, 1 strike. He's not going, and there's a swing and a miss. Chased one outside to Petit. He's quickly in the hole. It's 0-2. The Angels will play tomorrow at Goodyear against the Cleveland Indians. Nick Tropiano is going to go for the Angels in that one, and Cody Anderson will be the starting pitcher for Cleveland. Toss to first. Back goes Pennington. We'll check out the Jeep Out of Town scoreboard on this Tuesday in just a moment. It's brought to you by the Jeep Cherokee. An estimated 31 miles per gallon highway. It's the perfect choice. Visit Jeep.com today for more information. Next pitch, swing and a miss, and down on 3 pitches is Petit. First out here in the bottom of the second. Second strikeout for Martin. And the 9-hole hitter, Jet Bandy, who was a late addition to the Angels lineup, will step up.
What a great moment that was last year when he hit his first major league hit, a home run.
Yeah.
As soon as he got back to the dugout, his teammates extremely happy for him. And that wasn't a real good game for the Angels that day, but Bandy with a big home run made it a lot better for his teammates.
Bandy's had 11 at-bats so far this spring with 4 hits. Here's the pitch, and that's a pitch he takes for a strike. Bandy has some power. He's a big guy, big catcher. In the Florida Grapefruit League today, a lot of finals. Tigers over the Braves 10-6. J.D. Martinez keeps hitting home runs for Detroit. He's hit 4. And McCann hit a grand slam in that game for Detroit. There's a pitch that's outside. 1-1. Phillies beat the Rays 5-2. Nationals over the Astros 6-4. Marwin Gonzalez, another home run for Houston in a losing cause, his 4th this spring. Game that went 9 innings. Baltimore 6, Toronto 6. And they're in the bottom of the 9th, and the Mets are leading Miami 8-6. Our game, it's 1-1 here in the bottom of the second. A toss over to first, and again back safely goes Pennington.
There's quite a few home runs down in the Grapefruit League. Usually the baseball doesn't carry quite as well as you see out here in Cactus League play.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. Next delivery, that's low. The catcher Zunino couldn't find it, but holding on at first base is Pennington. So 2-1 on Bandy. Escobar's waiting on deck. Angels have been kind of anchored in here in Tempe. The Angels have been playing a string of home games going back to Saturday. And the Angels will be back here this weekend, this Friday and Saturday for home games. Friday against the Rockies, that'll be a split squad day, and then the Milwaukee Brewers will be in town on Saturday here in Tempe. We're just 20 days away from opening day, less than 3 weeks away. The opener against the Cubs at the Big A. Here's the pitch, and that breaking ball just missed.
Not a lot of time and a lot of question marks still in this starting rotation for the Angels with some key guys coming back from injury.
No doubt. I mean, you knew going in to the start of spring training that Weaver and Wilson were big for the Angels. Looking to see each of them have bounce-back seasons, and you just kind of wonder where each of them will be in less than 3 weeks. Will either one be even on the opening day roster? 3 balls, 1 strike on Bandy. There goes Pennington. The pitch is high. That's ball 4. So walk, 2 on base with 1 out, and we'll turn it back to the top of the batting order.
One thing, if you had to pick between the two, Weaver and Wilson, you would think Weaver for sure. Just quick conversations with C.J. Wilson, and even yesterday reading all the things about C.J. and his shoulder, he's still a ways away from pitching off the mound and then the batting practice before getting into a game situation. So it's going to be some time. Tyler Skaggs, though, getting close, which is good to see.
Right.
Had a great power bullpen yesterday with some hitters in there facing him.
So the batter is Escobar with 1 out, 2 on. Angels trying to get the lead here. Here's the first pitch. He takes it for a called strike. Yeah, C.J. Wilson can't be too happy with the way his spring is going right now.
Yeah, very difficult.
And he's pretty much said that. unfortunate, but that left arm, whether it's the elbow or the shoulder, just not ready to go for him at the moment. Here's one fouled off over on the left side. 0-2 the count.
At least the MRIs have not shown any significance in there so far. It's the adjustments you make as a pitcher, whether you have a shoulder problem or an elbow problem, generally it will lead to something else bothering you if you don't make sure your mechanics are right. And that's what CJ has said. Because of coming back from the elbow surgery, he kind of altered his delivery just a little bit, and that's why he's having discomfort in the shoulder. He's trying to just iron that out now with Charles Nagy just to get back to his good mechanics.
2 strikes here on Escobar. Next pitch, breaking ball. This one is tapped softly back to the mound. The throw to first is in time. The runners will advance. So a soft comebacker to Martin. Moving to third is Pennington. And up to second is Bandy. And we'll see if Nava can come through. He's been doing that this spring. He's already doubled in the Angel run so far today. Last inning, the Angels settled for 1 run and left 2 on base, and now runners at second and third with 2 outs. Mike Trout would be up next. This game right now has a very slow pace. Both of these starters working with people on base, taking time. And here's the pitch. That's a little bit high. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Infield backed up for the most part, although Seager's playing across from the bag at third. 1-0 on Nava. He takes that one for ball 2. You kind of like what you've seen from Nava in this 2-hole so far this spring, and he would be a guy that if he can continue to get on base like we've seen, that would be great for Trout, who's hitting right behind him in the 3-hole.
Well, if you're a number 2 hitter, you're raising your hand. So I'd love to be in that position. You know you're going to get a lot more fastballs with Trout hitting behind you.
Right. The 2-0, and that is a called strike on the outside corner. And we've been seeing a lot of patient at bats for Nava. We talked about how high his on-base percentage has been so far this spring. And came into the game with 11 hits and 6 walks already this spring, and today's already had a hit. A 6 walks for Nava, time for the club lead right now. And the next pitch, that's fouled off on the left side, backing out of play. G-Man Choi, who's in the lineup, he's shown some patience at the plate this spring. He's also walked 6 times. So it's 2-2 on Nava.
Kind of norm for Nava. He's going to see his 5th pitch. First at bat, he was swinging at the first pitch. So he's put himself in position to work counts so well to hope for a mistake or no sequences.
Yeah, this has been kind of a typical at bat for him this spring. Here's the 2-2, and he takes ball 3. So it's a full count.
So this is the time when you're in front of Mike Trout, 3-2 pitch. A lot of times with an open base as a pitcher, you're still thinking, I could still throw my secondary pitch. But in these situations, knowing that Trout's on deck, more than likely Nava is going to get a lot more fastballs, especially in this type of count.
So the count's full. Here's the 3-2. He chops it on the first base side. That's a fair ball, but a good stop by Romero, the first baseman, and he might have taken away extra base hit off the bat of Nava. That ball gets by him. It certainly would have been. But a good play by the first baseman on the line hugger up the first base side. Angels threatened but failed to score. We've completed 2. The third is next. 1-1 in Tempe on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Fans, don't forget, take part in the Angels 5K and Fun Run. It's presented by St. Joseph Hoag Health. It'll be on April the 9th at the Big A. All participants will receive a commemorative shirt and finisher's medal. Register today at angels.com/5K. Marte leads off the third for Seattle in a 1-1 ball game, and the first pitch from Andrew Heaney. That's taken for ball one. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Marte grounded out to third his first at bat and cuts at that one and fouls it off on the right side, backing out of play. Ketel Marte, young shortstop for Seattle. Here's the next pitch. Fly ball that's hit to right center, and coming over making the catch on that one is Trout. Ball was kind of sailing away from Trout, but he runs it down. So that's the first out, and here's Romero.
Yeah, real good jump on that first big step for Trout to read that ball going away from him in the right center field. Seen that a number of times in camp where Trout has got a good jump on the baseball, really working on that craft as far as his game. Last year was outstanding defensively. He got a lot better, throwing arm better, career high as far as outfield assists. It's all about that first step.
Here's the pitch, and Romero taking that one for a ball. He's a guy who's been up and down with Seattle the last few seasons, trying to win a reserve spot on their opening day roster. And he's had a good spring. Here's the next pitch. That's on the outside part of the plate. 1-1 to count. Romero, 13 games with Seattle. He hit .292 last year in AAA with 17 home runs. Here's the 1-1. Fouled back to the screen. And the count goes to 1-2. Fans, don't forget, if your computer is running slow, go to mycleanpc.com. Get a free computer diagnosis. In minutes, you can activate MyClean PC software to clean out the junk that may be slowing down your computer. Check them out at mycleanpc.com. The 1-2. Grounded on the right side. That's going to skip through for a base hit. A 2-strike single for Romero, his second hit today. That's the 5th hit for the Mariners. And with 1 out, here is Kyle Seager. And let's pause for stations to identify themselves on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. So here's Seager. Lefty-lefty matchup. And the pitch on Seager. He lifts one high and he hits it well into center field. Going back on that one is Trout. He's out by the wall and right near the rim of the track in straightaway center. He gathers it in. That ball was hit about 410 to dead center. It goes 420 to get it over the wall, and Seager gave it a long ride. He's retired for the second out.
Yeah, quick out, but a well-hit baseball by Seager to dead center field. If you can control that as a pitcher to get the guys to hit the ball to center field, you have a pretty good chance of having your guy out there in center, and Mike Trout running that down. But you can see how far he's got to go to get back there under control, got back quickly, and then runs that one down.
So here's their DH, Dae-Ho Lee, who singled in their run back in the top of the first inning. It's 1-1 here in the third. 2 outs. That's a called strike. Lee did not appear to be too happy with that call from the home plate umpire, Jerry Davis. Dae-Ho Lee, a big guy. They list him at about 6'4", 286 pounds. Right-handed batter takes, and that one is inside. Speaking of big guys, we saw one here yesterday with the Reds. He pitched against the Angels. That was Jumbo Diaz. He's a 300-pounder. That was a big man out there on the mound yesterday.
Pretty good chance you can establish something on the inner part of the plate, not worry about anybody running out at you.
I'll tell you what. You're not going to challenge that guy. Big man. There goes the runner. Pickoff toss to first. Relay up to second. And waiting with the tag is Petit. And picked off first base is Romero. That'll go 1-3-4 to end the inning. So that's it for Seattle. We're headed to the bottom of the third. Tied at 1 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Bottom of the third, Mike Trout will lead it off for the Angels. 1-1 ball game here in Tempe, and a first pitch on the Angels center fielder. He takes it for strike one. Trout, Pujols, and Calhoun against Martin, who's pitched out of some trouble already in the early going. Here's Trout lifting one high in the air. He hits it well in the left center field. That ball's over the head of Boog Powell, the left fielder, and Trout will coast into second base, and he is there with the Angels' third double of the ball game, his first hit today, and it'll bring up Albert Pujols.
Well, he was hitting some rockets in batting practice, as he has this entire camp, it seems to be in this. He jumped all over this pitch. So Martin was down, how short he is and compact with his swing as he one-hops the wall in right center field. You've been talking with Dave Hansen earlier today, saying how certain hitters get locked in a little bit earlier. He said didn't need a whole lot for Trout to get locked in, and certainly with these swings like this, you can see why he's so excited about how locked in he is early.
So let's see if Albert can bring him in. First pitch. Fouled back to our right, out of play. And the count, no balls and one strike. Don't forget, every fan matters when the Angels take on the Texas Rangers on April the 8th at 7:05 at the Big A. Fans in attendance receive a plaid blanket courtesy of St. Joseph Hoag Health while supplies last. You can visit angels.com for tickets. Here's the next one on Pujols. Low, smothered nicely by the catcher Zunino.
Trout's moving around a little bit there at second base. What we've seen in the conversation about for Trout is he's going to be more aggressive. Even when you see him when he's taking his lead at first base last year as compared to this year, a little bit different for him. And that's why he's feel more comfortable now. He's going to be more aggressive trying to steal a base and to try to read pitchers well to take that extra base, a better chance to score.
Here's the next delivery. That's grounded on the left side. Stopped nicely by Marte. Looks Trout back to second and throws out Albert. Boy, when that left the bat, it looked like it had a chance to maybe bounce on through into left center, but Marte did a good job ranging to his left to make that an easy play.
Yeah, going back and just talking about that, Terry, about Trout and what he's going to be more aggressive. Like even with Albert hitting behind him, last year, you can see the difference. The hand a little bit lower, shoulders squared up as far as trying to steal a base. Didn't feel quite as comfortable in his word. But this year, you can see the difference. The hand's a little bit higher. The shoulders are opened a little bit more so to be able to almost get a sprinter's start out of that position to try to steal a base. We saw that earlier today.
Here's Cole Calhoun batting. First ball swinging, and he lines one into right center for a base hit. Trout will be waved home. He'll score easily. And an RBI hit for Cole Calhoun gives the Angels a 2-1 lead. Well, we saw that from the very first two hitters of the game for the Angels. Escobar and Nava going after the first pitch against Martin. Calhoun does it here and puts the Angels on top.
Well, Cole always about for his timing mechanism is getting that foot down before he clears it, the path forward to make good contact. Is he able to do that to score Mike Trout? And remember, last year, Calhoun very aggressive on first and second pitch, the majority of his hits early in counts.
Choi, the batter. Calhoun draws a throw over to first base. No action for the Mariners in their bullpen. Martin coming into the game had pitched 5 innings so far this spring. Here's the delivery, and that is a strike on the outside corner. Cody Martin last year, when he spent time with the Braves and the A's, was primarily a reliever. He was in 25 games in the big leagues last year, just 2 as a starting pitcher. Here's the next pitch, low. 1-1. Little or no breeze right now here in Tempe. The flag out in center field, draped straight down. Good crowd here today, maybe a little bit more than expected. And we've seen some nice crowds during this little homestand for the Angels. We had nearly 6,000 yesterday. Here in Tempe on Sunday, almost 9,000. Next pitch, that's a cut and a miss by Choi. Had a sellout here for the game against the Giants, and that was on Saturday. So Angels drawing some fans here this spring in Cactus League play. One-two pitch. Choi takes that one outside, 2-2. He has a pretty good eye, G-Man Choi. Angels have been happy with what they've seen from him as he's trying to win a reserve spot on the opening day roster. Choi asked for time.
A little bit ago, Terry, we saw Albert Pujols. He told me today that he expects to be playing some first base sometime next week, which is a good sign.
Yeah, Albert really hasn't had any setbacks so far this spring. Count even. Here's the 2-2. Choi swings and skies one pretty deep into right center field. Going back on it is the center fielder making the catch. A few feet from the rim of the track is Martin. Choi gave it a good ride, but that ball caught by Martin for the second out.
It hit well. That ball was hit extremely well. Just a little bit too high, but it drifted back towards that warning track.
Yep.
Thought he got it. Kind of shaking his head a little bit as he got back to the dugout.
Here's Pennington. Flip has had a single so far. Here's the pitch. High and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Next pitch, and that's a little bit outside. The Angels starter today, Andrew Heaney, was slated to go 3 innings, which he's already done, or 45 pitches. So we'll see what happens when we get to the 4th inning. There's a toss over to first base, and again back to the bag safely goes Cole Calhoun. It's 2-1 Angels here, bottom of the 3rd. Martin's pitch. That's hit well into center field. Out there is Martin, but he is going to make the grab. Angels hit some balls hard, but to the center fielder here in the bottom of the third inning. A run, though. The Angels have a 2-1 lead as we head to the fourth on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Andrew Heaney, we were wondering if he might go a little bit longer. The answer is no, so his day is done, and Heaney in 3 innings today ends up allowing 5 hits. 1 run, it was earned. Didn't walk any in the strikeout department. He had 1 strikeout. And the Angels now will turn things over to Joe Smith, who will figure to pitch here in the 4th inning, go 1 inning out of the bullpen for the Angels. Joe will be facing Lee, Zunino, and Taylor.
I think for the most part, Andrew Heaney is going to take a lot of positives out of his performance. Just a couple pitches he missed, especially a couple sliders. Again, that's a field pitch for any pitch, especially only his 2nd start at camp, where that's a pitch that's going to take a little bit more time, but I think overall his command of his fastball was pretty crisp.
Here's the first pitch, and boy, that was not a good swing right there by Lee, as he was completely fooled by Joe Smith for strike 1. Joe checking out the baseball as he looks in for the sign. Lee has driven in the Seattle run. That was with a 1st inning single. There's one a little inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Certainly a different look for Lee, especially facing a left-handed batter throwing across his body. A better chance of seeing the baseball a little longer as compared to Joe from that sidearm.
And that one a bit outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
He's bailing out quite a bit on those first 3 pitches.
He does not look comfortable here against Joe, but Joe's missed on 2 of the first 3 pitches against him. Mariners begin to get some action in their bullpen. Looks like they have a right-hander up. 2-1 pitch that caught the outside corner, and it's 2-2. Joe Smith, career earned run average, excellent, 2.88. There's a ball hit pretty well in the right center field. Trout is chasing hard. He's not going to be able to get to it, and the ball rolls out near the rim of the track by the time he gets it in. At second with a leadoff double is Lee. So as rough a time as he was having against Joe Smith, he ends up getting a leadoff double.
And he stayed back on that baseball very well after those 4 previous pitches. Did not see the ball well out of the hand of Joe Smith. But what had happened was the pitch wasn't quite in enough. It ran out over the plate, and that's why he hit that one well. He was trying to get that ball down underneath his hands, inside part of the plate, but it was more middle end, and that's why you see that good swing by Lee going the other way.
Here's the pitch. That's inside. It misses on Zunino. He lined out to the shortstop, Pennington, his first time up. 2-1 Angels, 4th inning here in Tempe. Beautiful day for baseball in the Valley. We've had great weather here so far this spring. Here's the next pitch. That's low and outside. So it's now 2-0. Next pitch, chopped on the left side. Pennington has this one. Looks the runner back to second. Throws to first, and the throw takes Choi off the bag. That's going to be an error all the way on Cliff Pennington. That was an easy play, and against a guy who doesn't run very well, the Angels fail to get the out at first base. So Pennington would like to have that one back.
Yeah, sometimes you think you have to hurry your throwing, and that wasn't one of those times where Pennington had to. Kind of got himself in a good throwing position, and then he kind of threw across his body, cut action almost on the throw to first base, pulls Choi off the base.
So at the plate now is Taylor, and he was showing signs of bunting. Takes the pitch outside. It's 1-0. That error by Pennington is first this spring. Angels have done a good job defensively as a team this spring. Just 10 errors in 14 games coming into today. Here's the 1-0. That's a strike on the outside corner. As Joe Smith works, this is his 4th appearance. Came in with 3 innings of work this spring, 5 hits and 2 runs allowed. Angels thinking that Taylor will be bunting, and he's around on that pitch, but it's way high and outside. 2-1.
Yeah, 2 or 3 different bunt plays you could put in this situation where you have the pitcher crashing that third base line, keeping your third baseman back. Sometimes you'll have the shortstop breaking towards third, and your third baseman crash. The same thing with your first baseman.
Next pitch, that's on the outside corner, taken by Taylor. So now it's a 2-2 count. Could see Mike Morin in relief today. Corey Rasmus, also Al Albuquerque. Pitch is popped up, first base side foul, but playable, not far from the coaching box. Under is Choi. So that'll be the first out. Taylor is retired. Runners have to hold at first and second. And Boog Powell will be the next hitter.
Yeah, Terry, how big is that depth in your bullpen going to be tested early on, especially with some starting pitchers working through some injuries and trying to get a feel for how many pitches, how many innings you'll be able to get out of your starting staff. So the bullpen and their depth is going to be so important for Mike Scioscia. He feels really comfortable. We talked to him earlier today about that. He feels real comfortable with the amount of guys he can get some innings out of.
Here's the pitch, and that is in there for a strike. Boog Powell, left-handed batter. Next delivery. He lines one down the right field side. It is a foul ball. That would have been trouble had that ball dropped in fair, but a few feet off the line, foul down the right side. So no balls and 2 strikes. Hope you're enjoying the action today. Angels and the Seattle Mariners, Tuesday afternoon baseball from Tempe. Terry Smith. My old childhood friend Mark Gubisaw right beside me. It's just like the old days.
I know, Terry.
Yep.
Went to high school with my brother.
That's correct. And Mark was the youngest brother of the 4 Gubisaw brothers.
Oh, yeah.
The Gooby brothers. Pitch on its way. That one is low. And the count 1-2. So we go back many, many years. And here we are in the booth having a chance to do something together.
I used to follow you and my brother around all day long whenever you came by the house.
That's right.
I'm sure I annoyed you a few times.
Here's the pitch. This is skied in the air on the right side of the infield. Let's see who's going to call for it. It's the second baseman, and that is Petit, who makes the catch on the infield grass. So that is out number 2. Easy play. Daniel Robertson will be the batter. Robertson flied out to left field, his first time up. And the Angels bat in the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Petit, Bandy, and Escobar, and we'll see what the Mariners do pitching-wise. Looks like they'll be going to the bullpen. Joe Smith ready. Here's the pitch. Wave and a miss at that one by Robertson. Daniel Robertson is wearing number 99 with the Mariners. Boy, usually when you get that kind of number in spring training, you're kind of the low man on the totem pole, so to speak.
Unless he's a Wayne Gretzky fan.
That's true. Maybe that might be it. You never know. As far as Robertson, he's a SoCal native. So
yeah.
Might be a little connection there. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Joe Smith trying to get out of some mild trouble here in the inning with 2 outs. Delivers way outside with that one, 2-1.
And Joe, being a veteran, especially down in the bullpen for a lot of years, knows exactly what it takes to get his body ready for the season, which he's going to pitch a number of games back-to-back games. So he's just trying to get that feel now.
There's one tip foul right by the plate. So the count level, 2-2. Robertson, scrappy player. We saw that from him last year in an Angels uniform. He's back in the batter's box, the 9-hole hitter today for Seattle. So 2 outs, 2 on, and 2 strikes, and the pitch, that's tipped foul right by home. So a pretty good battle going on here between a couple of guys who were teammates a year ago with the Angels. Robertson is usually a free swinger. In the time he was with the Angels last season, he had only 2 walks in 75 at-bats last year. So that tells you he's swinging the bat. He has had some walks this spring for Seattle. Next pitch, he takes that one, and that was a pretty tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. It's a ball. It's a full count.
Robertson's the guy that will chase a high fastball, but that's going against the norm for Joe Smith as far as trying to go upstairs with a fastball. So he's going to try to stay away with the slider, that 2-seamer down and in.
Here's the payoff pitch, and he was going after that one and fouls it off. Robertson, a little guy, 5'8", 175-pounder, went to South Hills High School. Former draft pick back in 2008 by the San Diego Padres. Joe Smith has a new baseball, trying to get the final out here. Full count pitch. It's line foul down the left side. Robertson gave that one a good ride, but a foul ball down the left field side. This has already been a 25-pitch inning. So Joe getting some work here, trying to have a scoreless inning in the top of the 4th. 2-1 Angels. And Smith bluffing a pickoff toss to second base. Lead runner there is Lee. They do not have much speed at all on the bases between Lee and Zunino. Three-two delivery. A liner out of the reach of Choi, and that's a fair ball. That's going to get in 1 run. Going into third, being waved around is Zunino. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe. And ending up at third with a 2-run, 2-out triple is Robertson. And now the Mariners have a 3-2 lead. Even with those runners on base, they get them both in.
Very, very aggressive running the bases, Seattle, on that good hit by Daniel Robertson. A good at bat, really. Fought off some tough pitches, took some tough ones real close to the strike zone. Finally got a pitch about bell high out over the plate. Didn't try to do a whole lot with it. Punched it right down that right field line. And Cole, the angle he had to come after the baseball because he was playing a little more shallow. Gets it in quickly. Seattle aggressive, scores 2 on that triple by Robertson.
So now you look back at this inning, and the error by Pennington on the ground ball was hit to him off the bat as Zunino really looms big. The 2 runs are unearned, but they're on the board, and the Mariners have their second lead in this ball game. And Charlie Nagy out there, out on the mound. The clock has expired. So the home plate umpire, Jerry Davis, goes out and says, guys, you're out of time as far as the meeting. They're going to give Robertson a double on that one, and they'll say that he takes third on the throw to the plate. So in any case, 2 runs are in. 1 ball, no strikes on Martin. Here's the pitch. That's a strike on the inside corner. Here's the next pitch from Joe. This one is tapped softly on the left side. Escobar, the third baseman, will throw out Martin, and that's how the inning will end. But a couple of runs for Seattle here in the top of the inning. They have a 3-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Driven by Mazda, driving Angels down by a run, 3-2, bottom of the 4th inning. New pitcher for Seattle is Justin DeFreitas. He takes over for Cody Martin. Martin went 3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 2 runs earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Fans, don't forget today's game. It's being brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. That's what a hamburger is all about. So Petit will lead it off against the right-handed reliever who pitched for the Philadelphia Phillies last year. And the first pitch, this is hit a mile high into shallow left field, circling under and getting the catch on that one is Boog Powell. For a moment, it looked like he might have lost it in the sunshine, but makes the grab. Petit retired on 1 pitch. Jet Bandy will be the next hitter. DeFreitas last season with Philadelphia, 61 relief appearances, 0-2 record, 5.51 ERA. Fastball Good slider and a changeup. And he signed with Seattle as a free agent this offseason back in December.
Not overpowering with his fastball, 88 to 92 range, but there's a lot of sliders. A good slider, like you mentioned, Terry.
This is his 4th appearance this spring, and in 4 innings he had given up 3 hits and 2 runs, trying to win a spot in their bullpen. First one in there on Bandy, right-hander against right-hander, and the next pitch, that's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. De Freitas went to Ventura Junior College, so he has some connections to the Central Coast.
See them play quite a bit this winter.
Yep. Here's the next pitch, and that is a little bit low, 2-1. Spent some time in the past in Ventura on the way to Santa Barbara.
There you have. Nice area up there.
Absolutely. Here's the next delivery, and that's a little bit inside, so it's 3 balls, 1 strike. Angels have 2 runs, 6 hits. Seattle 3 runs, 7 hits. Here's the next pitch, and that is low, ball 4. So 5-pitch walk. That's the second walk for Bandy in his 2 at-bats, and we'll turn it back to the top of the batting order. Escobar will step to the plate. Well, the Angels entering this ball game with 4 straight wins here in the Cactus League. The Mariners had lost 4 straight coming in. So we'll see what gives in this one. Angels will be playing the Indians tomorrow in Goodyear, and the Mariners will be playing the Giants tomorrow in Peoria, the Seattle home spring training base. Here's the pitch. That's lined into center, and there to make the grab on it is Martin. Boy, oh boy, Escobar couldn't have hit that ball any harder, but about a waist-high line drive that was caught by Martin. It was hit right at him.
Very aggressive on that early part of the count. Drives it well. Martin covers a lot of ground in center field. A very good outfielder. Strong throwing arm. That's a difficult play, especially with that tailing action going away from me as a center fielder, but read that one well. Nice play. Hit well, though, by Escobar.
Yeah, he really hit that ball hard. So here's Nava. That's left against the right-hander. Nava's doubled in a run 2 times up and takes strike 1. It's no balls, 1 strike. Two outs, runner at first base. That's Bandy. And the next pitch, that's low. It bounces away from the catcher, Zunino, and easily moving up to second base without a throw will be Bandy on the wild pitch.
It's not easy to do, to get anything by Zunino at the plate. He is very good as far as squaring his shoulders and keeping his body down to keep a breaking ball or fastball away from getting by him. But that's a difficult one. It hits off his throwing hand as he tried to shift his body over to keep that baseball in front of him.
1 ball, 1 strike on Nava. Next pitch, that's lined into right center. Boy, he is really swinging a hot bat. Going into third and being waved home is Bandy. Throw to the plate, gets away from Zunino, so Bandy scores. And at second base is Nava. And this ball game is tied at 3. Very aggressive were the Angels right there in sending Bandy home, and he ends up scoring.
Here, Ron Renegade aggressive to third base, send him home, especially when you know who is coming up next. But another good swing once again by Daniel Nava, challenging Robertson in his throw in from right field. Knowing as a right fielder you're going away from the baseball, it's a more difficult throw. But a pretty good throw to home plate, unable to make the play. Zunino at the plate. Just a slight bobble, and then in the throw, it looked like he had a chance to get him out. As Bandy's just getting there, but unable to control that baseball, Zunino, and be able to apply the tag.
So here's Trout, and he skies the first pitch foul on the third base side. Seager has a play behind the coaching box. He'll gather that one in. Mike is retired, and so are the Angels here in the bottom of the fourth. But the Angels do get a run to tie it. In the inning, Angels had one hit, and we're headed to the top of the fifth here in Tempe. We're the 3-3 ball game on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Pitching change as we head to the top of the fifth inning. Mike Morin will take over for the Angels. So Joe Smith worked an inning, allowed 2 hits, 2 runs. They were both unearned. He did not walk or strike out anyone. And Mike Morin is set to work. This will be his 5th appearance this spring. He's done a good job. He's had a couple of wins in relief, 4 scoreless innings, allowing just 1 hit, no walks, striking out 4. So having a very solid spring. Marte will lead it off, waiting on Jerry Davis, who is just returning to the playing field.
I mean, Morin looks in great shape this year. Be a huge part of this successful bullpen.
Yep. Angels hoping he has the kind of season he had in 2014. When his ERA was under 3 last year, it was over 6. So here's the first pitch. That's right in there for a called strike on Marte. Morin fastball, slider, and an excellent changeup. And there's one there. It's a little bit low. Escobar, the Angels' third baseman, is in, guarding against the speed of Marte, the batter. Here's the next pitch, a cut and a miss. So the count's 1-2 on Ketel Marte.
Boy, does he have a great changeup. Trevor Hoffman type changeup, changes speed on the changeup.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's a fastball high and away. 2-2. Morin is ready. And his next delivery chopped on the first base side, a foul ball.
I don't know if you remember last year where Mike Morin threw a changeup to Mike Napoli, where it looked like he had a full swing through the baseball, and the baseball had still not crossed home plate. We had a great side angle. It was almost like one of those Bugs Bunny type moments where he could have taken like 3 swings before the baseball even crossed the plate.
Yeah. Well, it certainly is a big weapon for him. The 2-2 fouled off left side. That's going to get back and out of play. Romero and Seager will follow. 2, 3, and 4 batters here for Seattle. We've seen Andrew Heaney for the Angels, Joe Smith, and now Mike Morin. Here's the next pitch. Grounded right to second. Easy play for Petit, and he will throw out Marte. So 1 gone. Here's Romero, who the Angels haven't retired. He has a couple of singles in the ball game. 3-3 the score here in the 5th. Score update. It's brought to you by Experian. Get serious about your credit by visiting Experian.com. Stephan Romero, the batter. Here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss. When Morin has that changeup working, he gets strikeouts with that pitch. He gets a lot of swings and misses.
He'll throw like more of a cut changeup to a right-handed batter and a tailing away changeup to a left-handed batter.
There's another one, and that's a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And that's the thing that makes him so special, is when he's able to change speeds and actually the cut or tailing screwball type action with his changeup.
There's a little poke into left. That's going to fall in for a base hit. So Romero's been hot today. 3 for 3 ball game for him. And he's really had a nice spring for Seattle. He's had 12 hits now and 24 times up, hitting .500. Kyle Seager will be the next batter. Seager's day, a single and a line out. Very durable player, Kyle Seager. He's missed only 13 games the last 4 seasons. He missed only 1 game last year. You can pencil him in that batting order day after day. And there's a pitch in there for a called strike.
Really turned himself into a solid defender at third base, a Gold Glove winner, originally a second baseman.
Yep, won a Gold Glove in 2014. One strike to count on Seager. Here's the pitch, and he takes that one low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mentioned a little bit earlier, we're less than 3 weeks away from opening day. Angels and the Chicago Cubs. Angels will start the season like they did a few seasons ago, facing a National League team on opening day. Cubs at the Big A for the April 4th opener. That'll be a little 2-game series. The Angels will actually play the Cubs in an exhibition game the day before on Sunday the 3rd. Here's the next pitch. That's a little bit low. Angels will have the Cubs and Rangers in for the opening homestand, and then the first road trip, it's going to be a pretty long one for the Angels. 3 in Oakland, 3 in Minnesota, and 4 in Chicago against the White Sox.
Might have to bring some long sleeves on that trip, Terry.
Yep. Yeah, even in Oakland, it will probably be chilly, too. 2-1 is the count. Here's the next pitch. Lifted in the air to left field. Nava is going back, and he is circling under, a few feet from the rim of the track. He will make the catch on that one. He thought it was the last out. He threw the ball over the wall to the fans there.
Because that you get 2 bases.
So moving on to third on that one is going to be Romero. Yeah. Nava thought it was the 3rd out, and he threw the ball to the fans. So the runner at first goes to 3rd on that one, on the fly out. The batter's out. But obviously Nava with a
they might appeal first
mistake.
base because he never tagged the base.
Let's see. That's what Mike Scioscia is wanting the Angels to do.
So what you do now as a pitcher, you go in your position, step off the pitching rubber, and throw over to first base.
So here's the appeal to throw to first, and let's see, they call him out. After all of that, now it ends up being a double play.
Nava's done everything well this year.
So even when Nava makes a mental mistake, he still comes out a winner. The inning is over because the runner at first did not tag and advance on that one. Scott Service, the Seattle manager, is having a little discussion with the home plate umpire. The inning is over on a very unusual play here in the top of the fifth. It is a 3-3 game, Angels and Mariners on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Albert Pujols will lead things off for the Angels as we head to the bottom of the fifth inning in a 3-3 ball game. There's a new third baseman for Seattle, and that's Tyler Smith. The Freitas still pitching. He came in last inning. And it looks like we have a couple of other changes. Luis Sardinas is the new shortstop. Marte has left. And taking a look out to center field, they have a new center fielder as well, and that is Luis Liberato. Here's the pitch, grounded sharply to short. New shortstop is there, and Sardinas will throw out Albert, and that's the first out. How about the way things ended, Mark Ubersaw, in the top of the fifth inning? Wasn't that crazy?
You know you're locked in when you make a mistake like this. You make a nice play on the fly ball, and then you throw a souvenir to a fan, not realizing that was not the third out. And the same thing with the runner going. You have to go back and tag the base first, but then he saw the umpire pointing towards third base. So Romero almost figured he didn't necessarily do, in his mind, do anything wrong, but Mike Scioscia, as usual, on top of everything, had that appeal put on. If a fly ball out, you have to, as a runner, go back to the base first and then tag up to try to advance.
Here's the pitch on its way, and that's in there on Cole Calhoun. So even though the runner was entitled to two bases, you still have to execute that properly. And he didn't.
That smile on Dander Nava's face in the dugout, too, with the guys around him when he came back in, was pretty funny to see.
Yeah, he's living the good life right now. He sure is. There's one chopped foul over on the first base side. So it's 0-2 on Cole Calhoun.
I think Nava's liking spring training out there in the Cactus League instead of all those years in the Grapefruit League.
There you go.
That's got to be the reason.
Change of scenery can be good for anybody.
Yes.
0-2 on Cole Calhoun. 3-3 game, bottom of the fifth. Next pitch, that's lined into left, but they're waiting and under, and making the grab is Boog Powell. So that's the second out. G-Man Choi, the next batter. Choi has flied out a couple of times.
There certainly has been some well-hit baseballs today.
Here's the first one on Choi, and he cuts at that one and fouls it off over on the left side out of play. Three runs, 8 hits for Seattle. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Angels. Angels have committed a pair of errors today. 0-1 pitch. Choi takes, and that's low. And the next delivery, that's grounded through into right center field. So Choi has a 2-out hit. Angels have a base runner for Pennington. Talked about G-Man Choi, the native of South Korea. He was a Rule 5 pick this past December by the Orioles. They picked him from Seattle. And then about a few days later, the Angels claimed Choi off of waivers from the Orioles. And he continues to do a good job when he's been in the lineup. Done a nice job with the bat, and has shown an ability to play that first base position as well.
A couple well-hit baseballs today. Even that deep fly to right center field his last at bat before that hit.
Here's the next one on Pennington. Drops a bunt down third base side. This is a tough play for Smith, the new third baseman. Can't get the handle on it, and that's going to be a bunt single. So Pennington has his second hit. Angels have runners at first and second with 2 outs. Petit will be the next batter.
Nice job of just deading that baseball right down the third base line by Pennington.
Pennington was the Angels' leadoff man yesterday, and he had a couple of hits, 2 more hits today. Here's the pitch on its way, and that one missed for a ball. Yesterday we saw Andrelton Simmons DH, and so back-to-back days he hasn't been at shortstop. His arm has been a little bit of a concern this spring.
Yeah, Soch said today he anticipates him back in the field very soon.
There's a pitch that's inside, and that gets a piece of Petit, so that is going to load him up. And all this happening after the Freitas retired the first 2 in the inning easily. Bases jammed now for the Angels. Bandy will be the batter. He's had a pair of walks so far.
You can see it's an off-speed pitch. Didn't have a feel for it. Again, you see that a lot from pitchers early in camp, where they just don't have a feel for that pitch. Staying on top of it, whether it's your changeup or your slider, finishing off that pitch.
So we'll see if Jet Bandy can make something happen. She had to drive in a run this spring, but a chance to drive in a few right here. Here's the pitch, and he chops it foul right by the plate. Fans, don't forget, every moment matters. Join us all season long for select Saturday night post-game fireworks shows at the Big A, presented by Wells Fargo. You can purchase your Saturday night game tickets today at angels.com. They have the infield back with 2 outs. Outfield playing Bandy to pull. Here's the next pitch on its way. Off speed, that's high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One thing, Bandy adjusted very well on that pitch, because you could see afraid of slowing down his delivery on an off-speed pitch, staying back on it. See if there's any difference in his delivery to be able to time a fastball.
Next delivery, and he got off a swing there that he'd like to have back. Did not look good chasing that pitch. 1-2 the count. Bandy walks all the way out of the batter's circle there to kind of collect his thoughts. One ball, two strikes, runners everywhere. They're loaded with 2 outs. The Freitas delivers, and that breaking pitch missed inside. Two and two on Jet Bandy. Bandy, a SoCal native who got to the big leagues last season in September. Hit a home run. 2-strike pitch, grounds it sharply, and it's right at the shortstop, and Sardinas will flip to second to Taylor, and they'll get the easy out there on Petit. The inning is over on the 6-4 fielder's choice. Well, the Angels threaten to leave the bases loaded here, failing to score in the 5th. 6th inning coming up, 3-3 here from Tempe on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. We move to the 6th inning, and the Angels will use their 4th pitcher of the day, Al Albuquerque, getting ready for his 5th appearance. All have come in relief. 4 innings of work, 9 hits allowed. Opponents are hitting .409 against Albuquerque, who's given up 5 runs but only 2 earned in 4 innings. So he takes over for Mike Morin. Morin worked a scoreless inning, giving up 1 hit, did not walk or strike out anyone. Here's the pitch, and that one is high. Mentioned a little bit earlier the Angels with 2 errors in the ball game, but 1 has been taken off the board, and that was an error that would have been against Nava on that odd ending of the top of the 5th inning when Nava threw the ball to the fans thinking it was the final out of the inning, since the Angels ended up getting the out anyway on the runner who should have been able to advance to third. Nava now will not get an error, so his day keeps getting better.
No question. It ends up being a 1-3 put out then?
Yeah, 1-3 on the throw from pitcher to first base on the appeal, and in effect it ended up like a fly out double play.
And an assist from Nava.
Right. 2-2 here on Dae-Ho Lee, who's had a pair of hits, single, double, scored a run, and he's driven in 1. The 2-2. That's fouled off on the right side, backing out of play. Mentioning Nava, he's no longer in left field. Not that Mike Socha is upset with him, but Craig Gentry has come in now to play left for the Angels. And as I mentioned, Albuquerque is the new pitcher. Right-hander against right-hander, and the next pitch, broken bat bouncer back to the mound, fielded by Albuquerque, and retired is Lee. One gone on the comebacker, and let's pause for stations to identify themselves right here on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. Terry Smith, Mark Gubasa, and Darren Chan, our producer-engineer, with you Tuesday afternoon baseball here from Tempe. 3-3 game in the 6th, and the pitch a ball to count 1-0.
Albuquerque does have a good power fastball, 92 to 96 range, and very good slider. The command in the strike zone, very, very important for him.
Counts 1 ball, 1 strike. Mike Zunino at the plate. Next delivery, that's a pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. Here's the next pitch, and trying to hold up on that one is Zunino, and he is a strikeout victim. Went around, got him with a slider, and that's a pitch. Mark mentioned it. Albuquerque likes to use that pitch a lot.
Especially when he set it up, the pitch before, a slider for a strike. Then you can expand the strike zone because you're ahead of the count as a pitcher. That was a sharp, tight slider. He gets a swing and miss.
So here's Chris Taylor. A double and 2 times up in the pitch, and that's chopped foul over by the Angels on deck circle.
Now, Albuquerque can be a huge piece of this bullpen, especially when you have the back end of your bullpen with Joe Smith and Houston Street. Sinker, ball pitchers, slider, pitch to contact guys. You need some power arms to offset the difference in the back end of your bullpen.
This one a little bit low. Albuquerque, a power arm. 67 games for the Tigers last season. Here's his next pitch. That's fouled back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Coming into this inning, Seattle with at least 1 hit in every inning. Albuquerque's retired the first 2 here. And there's a pitch that just missed outside, 2-2.
Certainly has him set up now for a slider after that fastball just missed off the outside corner.
And the next delivery, that one is cut on and missed. He puts him away, and the inning is over. That's the best inning so far this spring for Albuquerque. They don't get the ball out in the infield against him, and he strikes out 2 of 3. Bottom of the 6th is next. The 3-3 game, Angels and Mariners on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West.
pitcher of 67. Not 72, 67.
So we have a few changes here for the visitors for the Mariners. They have a new second baseman in the game, Benji Gonzalez, a new right fielder, Dario Pisano. They also have a new catcher, Rob Brantley. And there's a new pitcher, Don Roach, former Angel farmhand, will take over. Those are the changes for the Mariners as we start things off in the bottom of the sixth, a 3-3 ball game. Yunel Escobar is the first batter. Escobar getting set for his fourth at bat of the day. DeFreitas worked the last 2 innings for Seattle, and he gave up 3 hits and a run. It was earned. Here's the pitch. That's a liner into center field. So, boy, Escobar's had some good success. First ball swinging today. That's his second hit in a situation like that. And Craig Gentry will bat. He's batting out a novice spot. Nava went 2 for 3 with 2 runs batted in.
Escobar 3 times first pitch swinging, crushed the ball, 2 for hits, and that line drive to center field for an out.
Caleb Coward is going to run for him. Will probably stay in the game at third base as well. So a 2 for 4 day for Escobar, and Gentry goes after the first pitch and fouls that one off for strike 1.
Roach has a fastball, curveball, split finger fastball. Fastball around 87 to 91 range. Good curveball, but solid split finger fastball.
Roach looking in for the sign. And the pitch. This is tapped foul over on the left side. Don Roach was a 3rd round pick of the Angels back in 2010. And when he's been going right, he has got a lot of outs with his sinker. Fourth appearance for him this spring. He's given up 2 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings as Gentry fouls that one off. No balls, 2 strikes. It's a 3-3 game. Angels have had 10 hits. The Mariners 8. Toss over to first. Diving back to the bag goes Cowart, the pinch runner. Here's the next delivery. There goes Cowart. Pitches missed. Throw down to second. It's not handled cleanly. It bounced in. Gonzalez was on the receiving end. Down on strikes, though, is Gentry. But the Angels do get a stolen base. And with 1 out, a runner at second. And here's Trout.
Well, anticipating something off speed, potentially in the dirt. Got a pretty good jump. Trying to get the timing of a pitcher with his times of beats to the plate, but also picking the right pitch to go to on. And that's what he's able to do to get into scoring position.
Like Trout today has had a hit and 3 times up. Scored a run. The hit was a double back in the bottom of the 3rd. So let's see if Trout can bring in Cowart. Put the Angels back on top once again. Now Roach stepping off the mound. Time called. Right-hander is set. Here comes the pitch. It's a little bit low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Mike Trout is everywhere.
There's a pitch on the outside corner. One and 1 to count on Trout. Here's the next delivery, and that is a little bit low on Trout. 2-1. Roach was with the Chicago Cubs briefly a year ago. Pitched most of last season in the minors. There's a pitch on the outside corner. That's a called strike, so it's 2-2 on Trout. Last season, Roach bounced around. Cubs organization, Blue Jays organization, Reds organization. And there's a pitch that Trout takes for ball 3. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Be real surprised if he throws him a fastball here. Something either a split finger fastball or back to his breaking ball.
So a full count. And here's the payoff. And he got him. Struck him out.
Kind of a backup breaking ball.
Yeah, it was. Something off speed he gave him there.
Not exactly where you want to throw this pitch, but sometimes that backup breaking ball is even more effective because you're looking and tracking, thinking it's going to go down and away. Instead, it stays on the inner half of the plate. You see Trout trying to bring his hands in to make contact, unable to do so.
So the next batter for the Angels, this is Giovanni Soto. And he takes ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes. He's batting for Albert. Soto was in the original starting lineup today. And he was scheduled to catch and bat 9th and then was scratched. Albert's day is over. Pujols went 1 for 3. Angels have left a lot of runners on base in this game and have another one in scoring position with 2 outs. There's a pitch in there for a strike. 1-1. 9 stranded already. The Angels last inning left the bases loaded, left 2 runners on in the first and the second innings, and left a runner on base in the third and 1 in the fourth. 3-3 here in the 6th. The pitch cut and a miss. So Soto has the count go 1-2. Today's attendance here in Tempe, 7,607, 7607. 2-strike pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. So Roach gave up the leadoff hit to Escobar and then strikes out the next 3. That's it for the Angels here in the bottom of the 6th. The 7th is coming up, 3-3 in Tempe on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Wholesale changes for the Angels defensively. We'll set those up for you in just a moment. We want to remind fans you can become a season seat holder at the Big A and enjoy exclusive benefits and the same seats all season long at the greatest value. Visit angels.com/season seats for more info. New pitcher for the Angels is Cam Bedrosian, and he will be pitcher number 5 of the day for the Angels. He replaces Albuquerque, who had a clean top of the 6th with a couple of strikeouts. Angels have Sherman Johnson playing second. Petit, who was the second baseman, has moved over to short. He replaces Pennington. Caleb Coward stays in the game. He's at third base. Nick Buss replaces Mike Trout in center, and Quentin Berry replaces Cole Calhoun in right. There's a pitch in there for a called strike on Boog Powell. How's the paperwork coming along, Mark?
It's fantastic.
There you go.
I can't read my writing anyhow, so I'm writing a lot of things in here, but I can't see what it means. I should have been a doctor.
Here's the next pitch. This is popped in the air on the left field side. Foul territory. The third baseman, Caleb Coward, in foul ground left side. Puts it away, so Powell is retired. And that's the first out.
It's a real good route by Coward going down. At that angle he took, be able to make that play. Going a long way to run that one down.
So Dario Pisano will bat. He's hitting out of Daniel Robertson's spot, the number 9 spot. Robertson went 1 for 2 in the ball game with a 2-run double. As Pisano bats, he's gone 2 for 11 this spring. Swings from the left side as Cam Bedrosian gets ready to face him. First pitch right in there for a called strike.
Well, that open stance that he has, you would think he'd be susceptible to a good fastball away, and that's exactly what Bedrosian just threw that fastball right on the outside corner.
And the next delivery, that one is taken, and the count's even. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, cut and a miss. Pisano did not look real good on that swing, and count 1-2. Right-hander Cam Bedrosian's next delivery. He jammed him on that one. It's fouled back to our left upstairs and out of play.
Well, Cam certainly has some great life on his fastball. It's so important for him to be able to establish and throw his breaking ball for strikes at times, and then also have that swing and miss slider when he gets ahead of the count.
1 ball, 2 strikes. A 3-3 game as we get the 7th going, and the next pitch that's fouled off over by the Seattle dugout on the left side. Fans, don't forget Experian. Let's get serious about your credit. Go to Experian.com today. So the count's 1-2 on Pisano. Here's the next delivery. He waves at that one and misses it. Struck him out. First 2 have been retired by Bedrosian. Angels pitching today, not a single walk issued, and overall that's a 4th strikeout recorded by Angels pitchers. 2 are gone. Top of the batting order now, and the batter will be Luis Liberato, who is batting for the first time. He replaced Martin in center, and he's batting out of his spot.
Well, that was a nasty off-speed pitch too by Bedrosian. You're watching Charles Nagy. He's writing down all these notes. He's got to get acclimated with all these pitchers too. Very smart guy, quiet, but I'll tell you what a great competitor he was. Very good big game pitcher. You can see him taking those notes down there, know exactly what to be able to say to his pitcher in certain times. It's easy to talk to a pitcher when everything's going well. It's when something is not going as well as you would like. What do you say as a pitching coach to get you back on your game?
1-0 on Liberato. Left-handed batter fouls that one off on the left side, and they count 1-1. He's had 3 at-bats for the Mariners with 1 hit. Found out after the ball game, mentioned the Angels have had Gentry in there in left field for a couple of innings now, and Nava was the starting left fielder, and there was that odd ending to the top of the 5th inning when Nava lost track of the outs after catching the fly ball off the bat of Seager. He threw the ball into the grass area in left field, thinking it was out number 3, but it was actually out number 2. There's one fouled off by Liberato back to the seats, and that had a few fans scattering. The writers have already met with Nava down in the Angels clubhouse, and Daniel Nava joked about that play. That's something we've been working on a lot this spring.
When you're on base every single at bat, you might as well try something new.
Yeah. And it ended up being an inning-ending double play, as it turned out, because the runner forgot to come back to first base to be awarded 2 bases on that one.
I think we might have a little explanation on their post-game show about that.
There you go. You can talk to Mike Socia about that after the game. Yep, that'll be a good question. Ask Mike how much they've worked on that play this spring.
Exactly. The fundamentals of the game.
Yeah. Tell Mike that I wanted to know the answer to that. You can throw me under the bus on that one if you want.
You know I'll do that.
Yep. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the next pitch. Lifted high in the air into right field, not too deep. Barry has to chase it, though, toward the line. He'll make the running catch, and the inning is over. Good inning for Bedrosian as he sets him down cleanly here in the 7th. So it's 7th inning stretch time. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's a 3-3 ball game in Tempe on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Sherman Johnson will lead it off for the Angels as he bats for the first time today, hitting out a Cole Calhoun's number 5 spot. First pitch on Johnson, the new Angels second baseman, in there for a strike. Calhoun went 1 for 3 with an RBI hit. There's a new left fielder in the game, Tyler O'Neill for Seattle. There's a pitch in there for a called strike. 0-2 on Sherman Johnson. G-Man Choi waiting on deck. And there's a pitch in there for a called third strike, and Johnson is out looking. So Don Roach is racking up some strikeouts right now. He struck out the last 4 batters going back to last inning.
Well, if you're a hitter going against Roach, you got to think I'm going to look for first pitch fastball, because after that he's sort of a lot of off-speed pitch, or even a two-seam fastball has some serious movement. Be aggressive.
Yeah, he's always been a guy with a good sinker going back to his days in the Angels system. Here's the pitch. That one on Choi, shows signs of bunting and ends up taking it for ball 1. We'll check out the Jeep Out of Town scoreboard on this Tuesday. It's brought to you by the Jeep Cherokee. Estimated 31 miles per gallon highway. It's the perfect choice. Visit Jeep.com for more info and see what else is happening in the Cactus League as that pitch is in there, 1-1. Texas leads Cleveland 5-3 in the 9th inning. And Prince Fielder and Joey Gallo each hitting home runs in that ball game for Texas. There's a pitch that Choi takes, and count on G-Man Choi, 1-2. Reds doubling up the Royals 4-2 in the 8th. White Sox lead the Dodgers 5-3 in the 8th, and the Cubs up on the Padres 8-1 in the 7th. There's a pitch outside. The other game going on at the moment in the Cactus League between Colorado and Oakland, and Rockies lead that one 6-2 in the 8th inning. Reynolds a home run for Colorado, his 2nd this spring. The 2-2 pitch. Choi takes outside. Full count, 3-2.
Boy, Gallo's hit some long home runs this spring already.
Yep.
Great power for Texas.
Here's the next pitch. That's fouled off. He hit one, I guess it was against Matt Shoemaker a few days ago. And man, was that thing hit.
Boy, the battle in the AL West is going to be incredible this year. Everybody strong. Oakland may surprise some teams, some players, what they have, some young guys, get some opportunities, but the rest of the division real strong.
There's a chopper foul over on the right side. Three balls, 2 strikes to count here on G-Man Choi. Here's the payoff delivery, and he takes a called 3rd strike. Choi can't believe the call by Jerry Davis. Struck him out looking. He thought it was ball 4. Thought it might have been a little bit high. So that's 5 strikeouts in a row now for Roach.
Had some late movement on it. Upper part of the strike zone above the belt for sure. And that's something baseball has been talking about. We saw and heard about it during the wintertime. They may indeed call the high strike a little bit more so.
Here's the pitch, and that one's in there for a strike on Nick Buss. This is his first at bat this afternoon. Buss has done a good job with the bat this spring. 9 for 16. And he cuts at that one and fouls it off right near the Angels coaching staff. Things have quieted down in this ball game. Neither team has scored since the 4th. We're in the bottom of the 7th. It's 3-3. 0-2 pitch. That's outside. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, that conversation, a little higher strike and the low strike a little bit above the kneecaps. Now, the reason why they're hoping to do that is if you have the higher strike, you have a better opportunity for the hitters to score potentially some more runs, better pitches to hit.
Here's a lazy fly ball, shallow left field, long run in for the left fielder, but going back is the shortstop, and that's Sardinas, who ends up making the catch with O'Neill right behind him, and the inning is over. So 1-2-3 inning for Roach as he sets down the Angels here in the 7th. We're moving to the 8th. It's 3-3 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. New pitcher for the Angels, the sixth of the day, is Deolis Guerra. He replaces Cam Bedrosian, who had a scoreless, clean inning in the seventh with a strikeout. So Guerra, pitcher number 6 for the Angels, and this is his 5th appearance this spring. 4 2/3 innings. He's allowed 4 hits and 2 earned runs with 6 strikeouts. So Sardinas will be the first batter he faces. And this will be Luis Sardinas' first at bat today. He's hitting out a Marte's spot. He went 0 for 3. Guerra fastball, curve, good changeup. And here's his pitch. It's a strike on the outside corner.
Fastball can rush it up there 90 to 93 range, but you mentioned that changeup, an excellent changeup.
Here's the pitch. That's hit hard, but foul on the right side. Sardinas batting from the left side. Solid contact there, but a foul ball. And the count jumps to 0-2. Guerra's a big guy. He goes about 6'5", 245, and the Angels have to figure out what they're going to do with him. They drafted him from the Pirates in the Rule 5 draft this December. So he has to be on the Angel roster when the season begins. The Angels can't send him down to AAA. They would have to offer him back. And he's looked pretty good. Here's the pitch. That one is waved at and missed. The ball got away from Bandy. Picks it up, fires to first, right on the money to complete the strikeout. Good job by Bandy after that ball rolled away from him to his left on the third base side.
That was a nasty pitch, too, to get a swing and miss. Outstanding off-speed pitch. Bandy did a nice job of keeping that in front of him, too. He's well in front of the plate. You can do that, expand the strike zone. Straight down. Kept his eye on it. Quickly got that baseball and fired it over the first base by Jet Bandy, but what a pitch.
So the next batter is Romero. First ball swinging, lifts one high into left center field, but it's hanging up, and making the catch is Gentry out there. Bus was coming over as well. That's the second out. 2 quick outs. And it looks like Tyler Smith will be the next batter. He came in to replace Kyle Seager at third base, hitting out of his spot. This will be his first at bat. Some
real solid defense out in left field, too, with Gentry and Nava. Both can cover a lot of ground. You already know what Trout and Calhoun could do in the outfield.
Here's the pitch, and Smith takes that one for a ball. Talking about Deolis Guerra, and the Angels will have to make a decision on him. Javi Guerra has pitched very well for the Angels this spring. 5 scoreless outings this spring. And Yunieski Maya, who has major league experience in the past, the Cuban-born pitcher, has looked good as well. He's had 4 scoreless appearances for the Angels. So these are all guys kind of on the bubble as far as the bullpen. And there will be some interesting decisions here as we get a little deeper into the spring, especially if they all keep pitching well. Here's the 2-0. That's low and outside.
It's one of those decisions as an organization you love to have, though.
Right.
It means you have depth. That means you're not going to just force somebody in there to be able to give you some innings potentially out of the case of a game gets away from you. Then all of a sudden you have a lot of quality arms. You have to make a tough decision. Who makes it, who doesn't.
Right. Here's the pitch, and that's a strike on the outside corner. Al Albuquerque, who we saw, figures to be in the Angel bullpen. Morin has pitched well. He would like to have a spot in the bullpen. Bedrosian was good again today. Another guy in the mix. Here's one lined into left. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Smith will make a turn, stumbles, falls down, and goes back to the bag at first base. So that's a 2-out single for Tyler Smith.
Well played by Gentry out in left field. Smith out of the batter's box. He's thinking he's going to get a double. Stumbles there, but a wise decision to think about going back anyhow because Gentry cut that ball off so well. The angle he took and a good throwing arm that he has prevents the guy from getting into scoring position. those little plays become big, especially when you have a close game.
So here is Jesus Montero. He's pinch hitting for Dae-Ho Lee, the designated hitter. First one on Montero. That's right in there for a called strike. Montero's 6 for 24 this spring with 2 runs batted in. And he's a guy the Mariners have to make a call on. He's out of options. One time, Seattle, when they got Montero, they thought they were going to have a guy that was going to be a fixture somewhere in their lineup for a long time, but it hasn't played out that way.
Yeah, real inconsistent. Although Weaver would probably like to see him move over to the National League if he's still around playing. He's had some good numbers and good swings for whatever reason against Weaver, and especially that all-speed pitch.
The ball's 1 strike on Jesus Montero. Here's the next delivery. That's cut on and missed 0-2. Montero's had some off-the-field issues in the past, but talking to some of the Seattle people, they say that he really seems like he has his head on straight now.
He's definitely a talent. Yeah. Good power, especially when he was with the Yankees. He had great power to right center field.
Ready is Guerra. There goes the runner. Angels pitch out. Here's the throw down to second base. A one-hop throw, but it's not handled cleanly by Johnson. It popped off his glove. The throw is low. It's going to be a stolen base. So the Angels guessed right, but still couldn't get Smith, who steals second.
And that's something you always work on as far as the pitch out, to make sure you try to keep everything in order to give the perfect throw to your catcher. There was a right on that shoulder side, the throwing side, to Bandy, which was a perfect pitch out. Like, or he did everything right, just the low throw from Jet Bandy.
So the potential go-ahead run at second. 2 outs, 1-2 on Montero. He bounces it back to Gary. It gets away from him. By the time he recovers, the ball's behind the mound, and he has no throw. So the comebacker not handled by the Angel reliever. Ball was hit hard. That'll be a base hit for Montero. They're going to pinch run for him. And now runners at the corners with 2 outs here in the 8th.
Montero on the off speed, right back up the middle, off the glove. Guerra did a nice job of not panic. A lot of times as a pitcher, you'll knock that down and you'll think you'll have to make that throw to the first. You throw it wildly and a run ends up scoring. So under control. Didn't make the play initially, but a smart play after it.
So the batter is going to be Brantley, Rob Brantley, who came in to take over for Zunino behind the plate. This is his first time up. And Seattle just got him off the waiver wire from the White Sox the other day. Here's the pitch, and that is in there for a called strike. Arby Fields is the pinch runner over there at first base. He's with them from their minor league camp today, that young pinch runner at first. Here's the 0-1. That's in there for a called strike on Brantley, and he's quickly in the hole. It's 0-2. Brantley is from Temecula, went to Chaparral High School, and also UC Riverside.
Percy's at right now, head coach Troy Percival.
Trying to get that program back on track.
He'll do a good job.
2 strikes to count here on the left-handed hitting catcher, and the next pitch, he pops it in the air. Should be the final out. Circling under is Johnson, the second baseman, on the outfield grass. Puts it away, and the inning is over. So that'll do it. They threatened but failed to score here in the 8th. Bottom of the 8th coming up, 3-3. Angels and Mariners on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Bottom of the 8th, one defensive change for Seattle. Former Angel Efren Navarro has taken over at first base for the Mariners as he replaces Stephan Romero. And Don Roach, who's already pitched 2 innings, is going to continue. He's still out there on the mound. The bottom of the 8th inning being brought to you by our friends at Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana. Rotolo Chevrolet, pursuing excellence every day. Visit them at rotolo.com. That's rotolo.com. Here's Petit at the plate. He's gone all the way for the Angels. He takes that one for strike 1. Petit's 0 for 2. Roach has pitched a couple of scoreless innings with 5 strikeouts already. And there's one that Petit goes after, and the count, no balls, 2 strikes.
He's had that slider in, split, 2-seamer working.
Here's the next delivery, and that one is taken for a ball. Infield is backed up, and the outfield, they are straight away. Here's the next pitch. That's chopped off the plate. A fair ball on the third base side. Tricky hop, and Tyler Smith can't make the play. Ball skips away from him. So Petit will get a single. That's only his second hit this spring. Angels have the potential go-ahead run on at first base.
That's a real difficult play for a third baseman coming in trying to get that in-between hop. Knowing you have to charge. If you wait back any further, there's no way you're going to be able to throw at Petit. Then it hit like the dirt and the grass at the same time, so a trickier hop. Ends up being a base hit, infield base hit.
So Rafael Ortega is going to pinch hit for Bandy, and he very well could be looking to bunt here. Left-handed batter at the plate. And around the bunt is Ortega. He pops it up foul, but it's going to land over by the Seattle coaching staff where they're seated just to the right of their dugout. Well, we have a chance. I know you have someone very special to you you'd like to send a birthday greeting out to today.
Yeah, my wife. She just, well, I should say she just turned 21 probably. 21 or 39 or a little bit higher than that. Happy birthday to my wife.
There you go.
Thank you, Terry, for allowing me to do so.
Yep. Here's the next pitch, and there's one bunted foul over on the right side. So the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Fans, be a winner and play in the Gardens Casino new Omaha Progressive Jackpot. Visit thegardenscasino.com for more info, and please play responsibly. Smith, the third baseman, is still way in, thinking that Ortega might still be looking to bunt even with 2 strikes. No sign of it. He cuts it. That one and misses it. Struck him out. That was not a good at bat there for Ortega. Angels brought him in to try and bunt the runner up to second. Couldn't execute, and 1 gone on the strikeout. And he had another strikeout for Roach. 6 of them in 2 1/3 innings.
Certainly opened some eyes in Seattle side. The way Roach is thrown, giving him some innings.
Here's the pitch, and that's way outside and misses. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the next delivery. This is chopped right to short. Could be 2. Flip to second. Relay to first base. Is going to double up Cowart, and that's how the inning will end. So it started out good for the Angels, but it ends on a 6-4-3 double play. We're headed to the 9th inning. It is a 3-3 ball game on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. So we move to the 9th inning. Angels have a new battery, and we'll give you the new pitcher and new catcher in just a moment. Fans, here's the deal for you. $19.95 gets you Proactive plus a rotating deep cleansing brush. It's valued at $45. You're guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you'll get your money back. Call 1-800-644-5944. That's 1-800-644-5944. So the new pitcher is Corey Rasmus. He's the 7th pitcher of the day for the Angels, and the new catcher is Juan Gratterall. And at the plate is Benji Gonzalez as he bats for the first time today, and he takes the first pitch for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Gonzalez hitting out of Chris Taylor's spot. Taylor went 1 for 3 for Seattle. 9th inning, a 3-3 game. Here's the pitch. That's outside as Rasmus works. This appearance for him, his 5th this spring, and he's pitched 5 scoreless innings, allowing 4 hits, striking out 5. Here's the next delivery, and that's a pitch on the outside corner. Corey Rasmus is a guy who Angels will have to make a call on as well when you start looking how you're going to configure the Angel bullpen. Rasmus is out of options, so you can't send him down to the minors without risking someone claiming him. There's one fouled off on the right side.
Yeah, and he's very versatile, too, because he can give you some innings. He can spot start for you. He's got 4 quality pitches, and a guy that can pitch back-to-back games for you. So he becomes a very important pitcher for this bullpen for the Angels, especially with we talked about it a number of times today with the starters not exactly being healthy at this point.
2-2. Did he go around on that one? Yes, he did. Trying to check the swing was Gonzalez. Struck him out. Went away. Yeah, unless Rasmus really falls flat on his face, you got to think he will be in the bullpen when the season begins.
This is a great pitch right here for him. We talked about 4 quality pitches. That's a good curveball. You get a swing and miss. Remember how where the team would have been a couple of years ago if he wasn't the guy coming in doing that spot starting for the staff.
Yep. Here's a big cut and a miss by Tyler O'Neill. This is his first time up today. Young player who's getting a chance to play late in this ball game. Here's the next pitch, and that is low. Well, Rasmus last year had the abdominal problem, and that goes back to spring training last spring. And then later on, after he got back from that, he had some forearm issues. He only pitched just over 20 innings for the Angels last season, so he's looking to bounce back. Year before, though, as Mark alluded, solid for the Angels in various roles. Counts 1-2 here on O'Neill. The next pitch, that's high and away. 2-2, and you got to think he's kind of got all that stuff behind him now, the injury issues from last season. He's looked good.
And he says he's completely healthy this year. His mind is clear. He wants to go out and compete and help the team win games.
Here's the next pitch, 2-2. Got him looking. So back-to-back strikeouts. And Pisano will be the next batter.
And another good off-speed pitch, good breaking ball. Freezes him. Good late action on that one, too. The difference is because the pitch before is a high fastball followed up with a curveball that same plane, but brings it right back down on the inside part of the plate. That's what makes Rasmus so effective. He can run that fastball upstairs, but he also has that curveball that starts upstairs, ends up down at the knees.
Here's the pitch, and this one is chopped foul over on the right side. No balls and 1 strike. When we get to the bottom of the 9th, it's a 3-3 ball game. Gentry will lead it off for the Angels. We'll see who's hitting out a Trout spot. And then Soto hit out an Albert spot as the DH the last time that spot came around the batting order. Here's the pitch. That's tapped foul over on the right side. So the count's 0-2, and let's pause for stations to identify themselves on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Terry Smith, Mark Uvasaw, and our producer-engineer Darren Chan with you from Tempe as the next delivery misses high. 1-2 the count on Pisano. Next pitch lifted in the air, hit well into right field, chasing hard after that one, out by the wall, and watching that ball leave is Quentin Berry. That is a home run by Dario Pisano. That came out of nowhere right there.
Especially you would feel on that part of the count, they would be in position to be able to finish them off, especially with some of the pitches we've seen in this inning from Rasmus.
So Pisano gives Seattle a 4-3 lead.
Anytime you see a catcher reaching back over the plate, something good is not going to happen, and that's exactly what happened to Rasmus.
There's a pitch on Liberato, and he takes it for a ball. Pisano, who just hit that home run, was 2 for 12 with 2 singles this spring, and he just hit it out of the ballpark. Here's the next pitch. That one is low. So the Mariners, who had a 1-0 lead and a 3-2 lead, they're back on top, up 4-3 with 2 outs here in the 9th. Here's the 2-0, and that's a strike on the outside corner. So a young player for Seattle, the hero right now, with the 2-out 9th inning home run to give them the lead. There's one outside. It's now 3 balls and a strike. Here's the 3-1 delivery, chopped on the first base side, a foul ball. Pisano, who just hit that home run, he played college baseball at Columbia. And he was a young man who, way back when, played in the Little League World Series for a team out of Massachusetts. He was a Little League World Series hero for that club.
Representing the Ivy League.
There you go. There's a pitch cut on and missed by Liberato, and as it turns out, Rasmus strikes out the side, but gives up that home run as well. So we're headed down to the bottom of the 9th as we go there. It is 4-3 Seattle on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. First batter up for the Angels, leading the inning off and driving a ball down the right field corner is Craig Gentry. And by the time Pisano could run it down in that right field corner, it's 360 down there. Gentry is already at third base with a leadoff triple. So the Angels have the potential tying run at third. Nobody out to start off the bottom of the ninth. The new pitcher for Seattle is Jonathan Aro. And he is greeted by a leadoff triple. So here's Todd Cunningham batting. He's hitting out a Trout spot, and the pitch that's in there for a strike. This is Cunningham's first at bat of the ball game. Mike Trout went 1 for 4 today. They've brought the infield in. Aro is ready, and the pitch, and that is a pitch that evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. This Seattle reliever has struggled this spring. This is his 5th appearance. He has a save, but he's allowed 8 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned in just 4 1/3 innings. Here's the pitch, and that one is high. Aro was acquired from the Boston Red Sox by Seattle this past December. Player that caught Jerry DiPoto's eye while DiPoto was working briefly for the Red Sox. He acquired him from Boston this offseason when he took over as the Seattle GM. And the pitch lifted down the left field side. O'Neill is chasing toward the line. He'll make the catch, and it's not deep enough for the runner Gentry to tag. So Cunningham is retired on the shallow fly ball down the left side. That's the first out here in the bottom of the ninth. Soto will bat. Since coming into the game, he struck out his first time up. Mariners got good relief work from Don Roach, who worked the last 3 innings, checked the Angels on 2 hits, no runs, didn't walk any, and struck out 6. So we'll see if Soto can do something here. Base hit ties up the ball game. Fly ball deep enough to the outfield ties it up. Soto has driven in 5 runs so far this spring. He's had only 3 hits, and 2 of them have been home runs. Aro is ready. Here's the pitch. In there for a called strike. Mark Gubicza is headed downstairs. He will visit with Angels manager Mike Scioscia after the ball game. It's a 4-3 Seattle lead. 1 out. Runner at third. Bottom of the ninth. Here's the next pitch. High and outside. A little bit of a breeze picking up, blowing down the right side. Gentry getting the lead off third base, infield, in. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's a shot into left field. That ball's well hit. Making the catch on it, though, will be O'Neill, and easily tagging and scoring will be the runner at third, Gentry. That was a rocket shot out there. A routine play for O'Neill, but it was hit deep, and it's a sac fly, and we're tied up now at 4. So each team getting a run here in the ninth. Soto gets the job done. And now 2 outs in the inning. Here is Sherman Johnson batting. And he takes strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. If we see the game tied after 9, we'll see if we go extra innings here. There's one that's cut on and missed. No balls, 2 strikes. Angels had a game here recently, you might recall, against the Dodgers, and that was a game here last Wednesday that ended up being a tie game, and it was called after 9 innings. That was that wild 13-13 ball game. 1-2 now on Sherman Johnson. G-Man Choi would be up next. If he bats, it would be his. Get to it after the pitch. That one is low. 2-2 the count. Choi's already had 4 at-bats today. He's gone all the way at first base. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Johnson. Next pitch And that's just a little bit low and in. Close pitch to take with 2 strikes, but he stays alive. It's a full count. As Aro works, this is his first inning and the 4th pitcher of the day for Seattle. Next delivery, it's fouled off on the left side as Johnson chased that pitch. That might have been ball 4. Looked a little outside, but trying to protect the plate with 2 strikes on him here and 2 outs in the 9th. Everyone is ready. The 3-2 delivery struck him out looking. That was a delayed call there by Jerry Davis. And down is Johnson, and the inning is over. So just from the look of things, it looks like this game is going to end in a tie. We do not see the Angels taking the field, so after playing 9 innings, the game will end a 4-4 tie today here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. We'll send things down here in just a moment to Mark Gubisaw and Angels manager Mike Scioscia. So the Angels got the tying run in after the Mariners had taken the lead on that 2-out homer by Pisano in the top of the 9th. Angels ended up with 12 hits today in the 4 runs. Seattle had 11 hits in today's ball game. So the Angels and the Mariners wrapping it up today in a 9-inning game that ends in a tie. And this ball game between the 2 teams, the final meeting this spring. Of course, they'll square off many times once we get the regular season going, the Angels and the Mariners. Mike Scioscia is talking right now, looks like, to umpire Jerry Davis. So when that discussion wraps up, not really sure what it's all about, we'll join Mark Gubisaw and the Angels skipper to get some of his thoughts here on today's ball game. Angels in action tomorrow in Goodyear, taking on the Cleveland Indians. That'll be Tropiano against Anderson in that one from Goodyear Ballpark. Let's go down. Mark Gubisaw standing by with Angels manager Mike Scioscia.
Scioscia, it's good to be here, by the way. What did you see from Andrew Heaney today as compared to his first start out?
You know, I thought there was good life on his fastball and everything, but you know, first the ball was up a little bit. He's pitching kind of, you know, probably above the zone he wants to. He was getting the ball in the corner, which helped him, but as that game went on, he got into that, definitely into that 3rd, and you saw him getting that ball down, and good strikes and good arm side command. He finished strong.
Certainly some good effort by your bullpen today. A lot of good strikes from Albuquerque and Pedroia. Is that what you're looking forward to seeing in them guys, is pounding in the strike zone?
Oh, definitely. You know, Albuquerque used his fastball and slider combo, which was good. He was in the zone. I think everybody that came in threw the ball really well. And as we're getting through spring training, it's fun, or it's important for us to see some of these arms develop and start to maybe show that they can come in and fill out some of the spots we're looking for. And they all pitched well this afternoon. So
Terry and I are wondering, so did you have that play planned out in spring training? Was that part of your fundamentals as far as having your outfielder throw the ball in the stands just to be able to get that play at first base?
They were joking about it. I don't know if they were down near that field near Whataburger down there or whatever they were working on, but it worked out. But yeah, Daniel knows he was embarrassed. He knows you have to know the outs, and fortunately we were able to get a runner that didn't tag up.
Great job, Scioscia, working on those fundamentals, man. I appreciate it.
All right, Gooby, thank you.
All right, thanks, Scioscia. Hey, Terry, see, we got the answer you were looking for. And Mike Scioscia right on that as far as what they were looking for. Daniel Nava had some fun with it, but of course got a double play out of it after all.
All right, Mark, have fun on Angels Live with Alex Curry. The game ends in a 4-4 tie, the Angels and the Seattle Mariners. For those of you watching on the TV side, as I mentioned, Mark and Alex Curry will have a lot more post-game analysis on Angels Live. On the radio side, we'll have some more for you from Tempe as well. This is the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Driven by your SoCal Mazda dealer.